There's a concept for a prison that skips the 10-year sentence and instead uploads 10 years of artificial memories straight into your brain in just a few minutes. The lesson, the guilt, and the remorse, all just uploaded. It's called Cognify, dreamed up by a molecular biologist named Hashim Al-Ghaili. And to be clear, this does not exist. It's just a concept. But here's the pitch. An AI generates vivid, custom memories of suffering and consequence built around your specific crime, and your brain lives through years of them in the time it takes to drink a coffee. He thinks it could be real within just a decade. And the unsettling part is that the science underneath it is already partly real. Labs have already planted false memories within mice and flipped fearful ones into happy ones. The promise is rehabilitation in just an afternoon. What it actually does is overwrites a person and releases a stranger. We spent all of history arguing whether prison should punish or heal, but nobody planned for the option where prison deletes a person and then prints a new one. If you want to stay updated on more dystopian tech news, then sign up for my free newsletter through the link in my bio. But as always, think about it, let me know what you think, and follow me.
Sounds like a Black Mirror episode, bro. Some crazy things happening, man. That's about to happen.
Alright, I'm down in Florida getting some training. This is a preview of what's coming, Acadiana. Got it. This looks like AI generated, but this is not AI. This is real life laser cleaning in action.
Y'all, the earth is heating up. Solar flares are heating the earth, and a lot of us are about to start activating, but a lot of us are also going to start deactivating. Now, if you know, then you know, but if you don't know, let me cook. So right now, Mother Earth is upgrading, and so are we, right? So with that being said, a lot of us are hearing the ringing in the ears. We're going to do the heart palpitations. We're going to do the buzzing and the vibrating in the head, right? We're having anxiety attacks because we actually feel like we're losing our mind, but we're not. We're just rewiring to the new Earth, because right now we're actually going through a transition. And what that transition is from the 3D frequency to the 5D frequency. So when they say the new Earth, that's exactly what they mean. It's not like it's a separation in Earths, okay, or worlds, or however you want to look at it. It's actually separation in frequencies and energies and vibrations, if that makes sense, all right? So, like I said before, you're probably feeling like you're losing your mind because when you actually go outside in the sun, you're seeing floaters, right? Those things that just squiggling in front of your eyes, and you're like, what the hell is that? When you're in a room by yourself or even with other people, you're seeing things like black shadows or whatever from your peripheral vision, and you feel like you're losing your mind because you're seeing things that's not there. That's not actually the case. You're seeing things that has always been there. You're just now able to see it with your third eye instead of your two eyes. Hopefully that didn't go over your head, okay? Now, I've said this before. Mother Earth is going through what we call a spiritual flu, right? And if y'all know anything about when a person have a flu or when they're really, really sick, they get a fever because there's something that's foreign inside of them. It's something that they need to get rid of in order for them to get better, okay? So for all of those people that are inauthentic to this earth, and what I mean by that, they are not on this new frequency. They are not on this new vibration.
All right, guys. I didn't even think about it like that, man. Earth is feeling sick. Maybe that's why all these heat waves and, you know, freaking tsunamis and stuff, earthquakes is happening. We're going through a change. But who will be the viruses to the earth? Picking up what you're putting down.
Guys, little update. Whoa. What the hell is that? Is that a tornado in the sky? Or am I tripping?
Looks like it.
Oh my god. There's a rope tornado in the sky right there.
Let's look at orbs, the bane of my life. I have worked for so long with night vision infrared cameras, mobile phones, and orbs are simply dust flying past the lens of a camera close up, which then appear as big balls of light in the center of the room. I see so many posts on Facebook paranormal groups. What do you see in this image? Take a look at this orb. Even people who watch my episodes, look at all the orbs. Trust me when I say, if you're seeing big balls of light floating past your Ring doorbell camera or your infrared camera, your security camera in your house, That is not paranormal. Dust is flying very close to the lens and it is reflecting off the infrared. Or on a mobile phone, if you've got a flash on and a piece of dust floats past the lens of that camera, the minute you take a picture, it's going to appear as a big ball of light in the center of the room, and many people then jump to the paranormal conclusion.
Well, sometimes those orbs, they do be popping up in like mysterious places, man, at just the right moment. So sometimes maybe it could be dust, but sometimes it could be something else, man. See, because they got to show that orbs is just dust. I don't know.
Is introducing a new leasing program so you can just pretend to own your next MacBook or iPhone.
Apple's setting up a system where you won't own your Apple devices, but you will lease them from Apple. This is partnering with Klarna, the company that is used for if you can't afford things. This will be supported on most iPhone, Mac, iPad, and Apple Watch models, and it's being pitched as an upgrade service that will work like a subscription, and you can also pay off the device early. And this is a leasing program, so technically you don't own the device. This program will be available in the U.S. initially, and both online as well as in the physical brick and mortar retail stores. And because of this news, Klarna's stock price has gone up 11%.
And here's the part they really don't want to admit. They're introducing this program because they're ready to drastically raise the prices of their products in the coming years, which means most people will not be able to afford them, and this kind of subscription will be their only option. It's pretty obvious they're getting us used to their version of the world, a world where you'll own nothing and be happy. But in this case, your happiness only lasts as long as you have money to subscribe. One failed payment and you might lose your phone for good.
I just learned that there's people in Apple debt. That's horrible. Like, if too many of the apple.com/bill charges don't go through, you won't lose access to the subscription. They'll just brick your phone. They won't let you buy new apps. They won't let you update your apps. They won't even let you install free apps until you sign in and update that payment method. And then once you sign in, they drain that money out. I shouldn't be surprised because this is very on brand for Apple. But not being able to update apps, that's crazy.
Apple debt is insane.
Hello? Are you still there? Hello?
Hello?
Who is this?
Oh, snap.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Who is this?
Yup, this might be it for Kai Cenat, as many are warning we are watching his final days online in front of us and no one is listening to his screams for help. People were terrified after security cameras caught Kai in the middle of the night alone in a locked room, climbing on top of a table and grinning directly into the camera, with even his close friends coming out to warn that he might not be okay. Haunting clips from fans are showing Kai's face looking completely different from just a few years ago, with every one of these changes starting right after the moment he warned us about, when he looked into the camera and said, "If my dreads are ever off, that is not me." But it gets much darker, as just days before that video, Kai's own stream showed him tied up with a rope and left on the side of the road, while his closest friends are now saying the real Kai is no longer here. However, many just believing these clips might just be AI.
Kai just streamed yesterday, man, and you know he denied those claims, so I think, man, people are kind of looking way too much into this, bro. But people gonna have their theories about Kai, man. Ever since he cut his hair, bro, people say he's been acting different. So, have you guys noticed a change in Kai Cenat since he cut his hair? I really want to know, man, because people keep saying he's a clone, bro. I saw it. It peeked his head out.
Imagine being scolded by the person stealing your vehicle because they think you're that bad of a parent. That's exactly what happened to Crystal Leary, a mother who left her vehicle running with her 4-year-old child in the back seat as she popped into a store. A thief saw the opportunity, drove off in her car, and a few blocks away noticed a child in the back seat. So he drove back to the store, handed the child back to the mother, lectured her for leaving her child in an unlocked running vehicle, and even threatened to call the cops on her. And once he was done shaming the mother, he got back in the car and stole it again.
What if I told you that the next big earthquake that's going to take place in the United States is going to happen somewhere where you might have never expected it to in the first place? For example, how many of you know about the New Madrid earthquakes of 1811 to 1812? As you can see here, and I'll get to why I'm telling you this here in a second because it's very important and everybody should be paying attention right now. A series of powerful intraplate earthquakes struck the New Madrid seismic zone between December of 1811 and February of 1812. They remain the strongest recorded earthquakes in the contiguous United States east of the Rocky Mountains. Hundreds to thousands of aftershocks followed, some large enough to be felt far away, continuing for months. As for the effects, the shaking was felt over an enormous area from Canada to the Gulf Coast and as far east as Boston and Washington, D.C. In the epicentral region, it caused widespread ground failure, fissures, sand blows, landslides, subsidence and uplifts, soil liquefaction, temporary reversal of the Mississippi River's flow, creation of temporary waterfalls, and the formation of Reelfoot Lake in Tennessee. The reason why I'm telling you about these earthquakes is because according to ZetaTalk, the New Madrid, as we all know, is a major fault line rupture zone that will play a central role, though, in the predicted pre-pole shift and pole shift Earth changes that we are currently experiencing. In their description, like it says, it is not limited to the historically known New Madrid seismic zone. Instead, they portray it as a long rupture path that will tear from roughly the Gulf of Mexico from the tip of Mexico northward up the Mississippi River region, through the Midwest, affecting areas as far as Chicago, and continue under the Great Lakes along the St. Louis Seaway to the plate junction in the mid-Atlantic at the Azore Islands. Obviously, this is just a prediction, but it did happen once before, and it can happen again. And when considering the state of which the world is in right now, it does seem somewhat plausible. Look at the earthquakes that have happened across the world, especially in Venezuela, in the past 6 months alone. Change is coming, whether or not you want it to.
Made scuba suits for cockroaches, and you need to see why. So it turns out scientists have found a way to remotely control cockroaches by putting electrodes in their body. And they're notoriously hardy creatures, so the goal is to eventually attach cameras and have them search for people in disaster zones or hard to reach places. But some disaster zones involve flooding, and cockroaches can't survive underwater. So they made them 3D printed, watertight scuba suits that connect to their air holes and give them air. So now the cockroach with its scuba suit can move around in the water for hours at a time. And they have an even bigger goal, which is to make them space suits so they can help us explore other planets. If you want to see that, follow along.
Wow.
But you will have no freedom. You will have no agency. It will be a perfect surveillance state. There will be no privacy. And that's what you're going to get. You're going to get great comfort, but you will have, there will be nothing left in the world for you to really do, nothing that really matters. You'll just kind of live at the, service of the AI giving you material wealth.
So why are we pushing AI so much? And that's the freaking one of the creators, not creators, the company's CEO of Chat GPT. Like, once again, man, they just freaking out front in the whole world with it, bro. Just putting it out there, man, and people don't seem to care, bro. They tell you, man, what's gonna happen. You have to pay attention, man.
So they found a Bigfoot. 2026, it just keep getting weirder by the day, y'all. The guy say he smelled the dead Bigfoot. He say he smelled so bad he walked right up on it. And they ran tests on the Bigfoot. And the Bigfoot had 58% Neanderthal DNA and 41% human DNA. So basically what they saying is the theory that humans evolved from monkeys, and that might have been the monkey that they was talking about, Bigfoot. Make it make sense. That might have been the species that they was talking about, not the smaller monkeys, but Bigfoot. Yeah, and I believe they came here through portals. That's why they at the national parks. That's why the sightings always be at national parks. They come in and out through portals in another dimension. So the Bigfoot species is not even from here. He said it smelled so bad. It smelled so bad. Like, make it make sense. Get in the comments and let me know what you think. Do y'all think that was the real Bigfoot or they planted that? I don't know.
What in the clouds is going on in South Haven, Mississippi?
Literally, a dark cloud is literally hanging over, man.
Now, yo, that was an actual real video. A lot of people recorded this video and put it across TikTok. Multiple people was in the comments saying they seen the same footage. Some people say they didn't have a chance, they didn't record, they didn't take pictures. But a lot of people say they seen this. And look at this clip.
Ain't no goddamn clouds this low to the ground like this. Like, this shit is crazy. What the fuck? Is this not weird as hell? Or like, is this shit normal? Like, this shit...
This happened in Memphis as well. A lot of people in Memphis is posting this clip too. So, yo, this is not AI. This is not an edit video. This is not an edit photo. But what in the clouds is going on in Memphis and South Haven, Mississippi? Y'all let me know in the comments. Y'all let me know in the comments. See, that's why I be telling y'all. I be going down the rabbit hole. It's water up there. It's no way for it to be shaped, how it's shaped like that. That look like a dark cloud over. See, I would go down this rabbit hole. I'm coming back for part 2. I'm coming back for part 2. I'm gonna call y'all back.
So this is interesting. All of the radar towers in New Mexico just went out. I went to look at satellite imagery. I'm not seeing anything unusual on there. There's no weather warnings going on. I haven't seen an earthquake there. So I'm just wondering, has anyone there heard a boom, explosion? Anyone felt a shake? Are any of you guys having some really crazy symptoms? Now, again, it could be like a planned maintenance outage. However, I would think that they would do that one tower at a time instead of cutting visibility for the entire state. I don't know. Just let me know in the comments.
I was the biggest streamer in the world wearing an occult symbol at the World Cup. Stuff like this is constantly in our faces and they don't want us to notice. But luckily, someone did. So this symbol you see right here. So from what I can tell, this symbol is an ancient Zoroastrian symbol for the soul and the eternal struggle. As you can see right here, this symbol goes back thousands of years. But from what I can tell, it doesn't really mean anything bad, at least according to this. But it really makes you wonder who introduced him to this symbol and for what reason. But why did he want it on his body on the biggest stage in the world? And the bigger question is, what does this symbol actually mean to him? As always, thank you for watching. Stay weird.
There's no way. I must be seeing things. You mean to tell me that Miss Rachel was in the Barney show? Shut up! That kid was dressed in the same outfit. Something is going on here, guys. I'm not sure what this means, but this is absolutely wild. You must admit. All the little ones love Miss Rachel. I ever caught myself watching this show sometimes. Shut up! So, I'm pretty sure all parents know about Miss Rachel, right? But to think that she was in Barney coming up? We watched Barney coming up. Something is going on here, guys, and I cannot explain it. But of course, guys, entertainment purposes only. I cannot believe what I just seen because she had the same exact outfit as Miss Rachel, and Barney called her Rachel. At this point, I don't know about anything anymore. Let me know if you know about this. I'm out.
I don't think that was her. That was bad. Once again, symbolism, bro. They're putting it in the media, man. That would be crazy coincidence if it was her, though. He was just the same, though. So
these guys paddleboard and caught this mermaid being curious about this one guy. Like, look at this. They was deep out there in the water, too. Look how scary that is. Now, y'all pay attention to the back. You see a mermaid jumping around. Look at that.
Hey, yo, it's getting spooky. Yo, this a clear picture right here from that video where that skinwalker was hiding behind the trees and ran down on that man that was walking his dog. All right, I'm gonna play the video so y'all this is the video right here for the people that might not have seen this video. I want y'all to watch this first, and then we're gonna talk about it. Now watch this. This is crazy, bro. Come on now. So it's 3 different lightings that she did. This is when it went around and wrapped around the tree. All right, that's the perfect color of it, right? Like the way that it looks. Now I'm gonna show you how it looks black and white. That's crazy. She did the whole thing black and white. That's when it first ran. It was 2 of them, bro. It had to have been 2 of them. But it ran, and then this was the second one when it stood there before it went to the tree, right? And wrapped around the tree. Now this is the first one that ran by. This is next. And that's in color. How it looked when it ran by. Bro, that's crazy. This is real. And mind you, people are thinking that it's possible that this might be that same creature that has something to do with that 911 call. We're going to talk about that next. That guy that made that 911 call with the alien ran off of his truck and bounced off his truck. This might have been that same area and that same creature, bro. With the lights, looking like it was lights on its face. Like that's, yo, bro. I do this for educational and entertainment purposes only, y'all. Salute.
Y'all, did you see that they are showing the Miami videos again? Like, you know, the ones of the mall, if you know what I mean. There is a bunch of videos resurfacing lately, like within the past day or 2. And some of them are not real, but there is ones that are real. And there's a little bit more evidence coming out about it now, but hopefully within the maybe next year or 2, we can finally get the whole thing of what happened. Mind you, all those people's phones were completely scrambled and nobody talked about it. They also said that one of the other people just came out and said there was people that came to their house to have them sign documents, every single person that apparently was there. So you know what that means. But I just think it's absolutely crazy that this is happening now, and I'm kind of glad that it is.
We all accept it. It does not taste the same. Food does not taste the same. It hasn't tasted the same. That's number 1. For 2, I keep losing things and they come back. I lose socks, I lose pants, I lose belts, and they'll be gone, and then they'll come right back where I left them at. I don't know why that's happened. I'm just accepting it now. Number 3, random old memories keep popping into my head, like old Valentine's Day cards that you used to hand out in school. I don't understand why I woke up with that memory just in my head. And Scholastic Arrow magazines, remember those? That popped up in my head like last week. I just accept this now. This is my life. I accept that these things happen in my life. I can't explain it, but it's here. Number 4, random conversations that I've had years ago pop up while I'm in the shower. Why do I think of rebuttals when I'm in the shower? When did this start happening? I don't know, but it happens quite frequently. I'm just accepting that this is life. Number 5, I am dancing with the fact that nothing is real. Maybe I'm not even real. I have no idea anymore. Things change so much that I have no idea what is real and what's not real. Even if I experienced it in a younger age and I have it locked into my memory, I have come to the conclusion now that some things, I might be wrong. Some things are just not real. Maybe I'm not even real right now. I can't even prove that. Let me know if any of these things are happening to you. This is just a rant. It's a...
Hey, Seekers, man, name 5 things in the comments, bro, that has felt weird or been off to you since, I guess, turned off their machine, bro. Oh, yep, I saw him.
What if I told you there's a lot more to Antarctica than you've ever been told and they're keeping it from you? You see, we were told to believe that Antarctica, that circle, that white circle right here, is the end of where we believe life is, right? So we're inside of that, and those are all of our continents. But the truth is, there's a lot more out there. There was an explorer by the name of Admiral Byrd, and he went over there and he seen shit that he said was crazy. Check this out.
35 years ago, our guest tonight found out whether there was any land north of the North American continent. He made that first discovery flight, and I must say that Admiral Byrd, our guest tonight, is not only our greatest living explorer, but he's been an inspiration to countless Americans. Admiral Byrd, you've been to both the North Pole and the South Pole. Is there any unexplored land left on this earth that might appeal to adventurous young Americans?
Yes, there is. And not up around the North Pole, because it's getting crowded up there now, because they find out it's really usable, not only to live in, but militarily. But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole on the other side of the South Pole from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
Now, this is where things get weird, because you're telling me that Admiral Byrd claimed that there was more land past Antarctica, and 5 years later, the UN, United Nations, mysteriously assembles together to pass a worldwide treaty banning all travel to Antarctica.
Is it because I didn't make my payment on my Ford Bronco? Ford shut down my car because the payment is late? Dang, that's rough. That's like a scam, right? So my brand new Bronco with 3,000 miles on it is broke down in the middle of... I don't think Ford realizes how rough it is out here. Doing my best. I mean, I could be killed. I'm in like 60-mile-an-hour traffic here. My truck, broken. I could be killed. Expressway. So, hey, look. Divine providence. You gotta listen, because sometimes when God speaks, it's not all what you want it to be, you know what I mean? This probably saved me from a really bad accident, but anyway, Ford Bronco, number 1, 75 grand, middle 275, shut down and completely broken and busted.
That is crazy, bro. It's implementing already. I didn't think it was gonna happen this soon, man, bro. Do not buy these freaking 2027 cars, man. If you have to buy old, bro. At least they can, like I said. You don't want to be in the situation where he was just in, man. They really have shutting down cars, bro, if you miss the payment. They don't care what you're going through, man. They just want that money. Okay. What he found? On a $1 bill, bro. Looks like a 4. What the hell? Next to the all-seeing eye.
Look at this, y'all. So you guys are really gonna sit there and tell me that this is a cloud? Look at this. They are here. You're really gonna sit there and tell me that this is a cloud? Look at that. Have you ever seen a cloud shaped like this? A perfect sphere, a perfect cylindrical shape. Look at the edges. What? This right here is off the coast of Australia. What is going on there, y'all? Look at that. What is going on, y'all? Wow, that thing is incredible. Come on, y'all. When have you ever seen a cloud like this? When in the world? I'll wait. Please tell me, especially that low to the ground, to the water. Look at this. They told us it's in the water. Stop looking up right now. Y'all need to be looking in the water. They're coming up out of the water, and you can clearly see this huge thing over here. Yeah, that didn't come from the sky. Ain't no way that came from the sky. It had to come out the water. This is amazing, y'all. Are y'all excited yet? Are you guys excited yet? Let me know what you guys think about this video, y'all. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. Let's continue to get this shit.
A massive circular craft cutting through the night sky, glowing from its center like a burning sun, with beams of light shooting out in every direction. Whatever was piloting that craft was not from here. Hey, fool, watch this clip, man.
These some crazy clips,
Y'all see
bro.
that, right? Everybody in that clip played a woman in a movie of some sort. But they sit here and tell us, oh, you know, this is just to expand my acting abilities and this, that, and the third. Ooh. No. When in reality, it's definitely a humiliation ritual. Yeah. In order to go far in that industry, you gotta do things that go against your morality, that go against your beliefs, your standards, everything, boundaries, everything. Like I said, in order to go far, you gotta go against everything that you stand for. That's one of them things. That was a humiliation ritual. But that's just me. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. All right.
I really think, man, that's a humiliation ritual. I seen like a couple of actors, you know, talking about it. Forgot this one film, this actor, he was in Lottery Ticket. He was talking about that and how he said his career just went like downhill after he played in A Big Mama's House 2, something like that. So tell me down below, guys, what do you guys think?
Here's the outside. Here's the front, bro. It's like an alien face.
It do. What's going on? Is that like a tornado? Yeah. You're a brave man for being outside.
I can't make this up. This is so freaky. Touchdown right by us, so I'm freaking out, but I need to get this before I die, so y'all can see. I shouldn't be outside, but
It's about to touch down.
this is what's crazy over here. This cloud. I've never seen something like this in my life. I've never seen something like that. Alright, I'm getting inside, guys, but
German startup just wired live cockroaches with AI hardware, cameras, and encrypted communications, and NATO forces are already deploying them in the field. The company is called Swarm Biotactics, and each cockroach carries a miniature backpack with cameras, microphones, and onboard AI, steered using electrodes attached to the insect's antennae that send low-voltage electrical signals directly into its nervous system. The cockroach moves entirely under its own power, while the operator simply guides the direction. And if stories like this are why you're here, hit follow and drop a like, because this is exactly what this channel is built for. Here's what makes this genuinely different. Conventional drones make noise, run out of battery, and can't fit through a crack in a wall. These can. They crawl through rubble, tunnels, and GPS denied environments while transmitting real-time data back to operators the entire time. And when you need more of them, you don't build more in a factory, they breathe. Within 1 year of founding, Swarm Biotactics went from concept to field-validated systems with paying NATO customers, including the German military, and have raised $15 million to scale further. 10 years ago, reconnaissance inside a collapsed building meant sending in a soldier. Now you send in a swarm. Would you feel comfortable with this technology being used in military operations? Let me know in the comments and follow my page for more.
No! That's going down a deep rabbit hole, man. They putting on freaking cockroaches, bro. Just imagine, man, they ain't gonna stop there, man. Flies gonna be next, bro. Well, we already actually saw a clip about that. They're trying to turn everything to a surveillance drone. What the hell is that? Looks like a ship, bro. Trying to enter the atmosphere.
The reason why women shave their armpits and legs is because of an advertising campaign. The reason why you think you need 10,000 steps in order to be healthy is because of an advertising campaign. Diamond engagement ring, advertising campaign. Breakfast being the most important meal of the day, you guessed it, advertising campaign. Expiration dates on food, you would think those are there to keep you safe, right? If you thought that, you'd be wrong. It's just a corporate strategy for stock control, so you could buy more. 40-hour work week? Well, that was created by Henry Ford, so you could spend more money. But hey, cheers to the weekend, right? Almost every single thing that you consider normal is created by somebody to make money off of you or to get you to do exactly what they want you to do. But there's good news. If a lot of what we consider normal is just a series of marketing campaigns, well, then you have total permission to stop following the script. Maybe it's time you create your own normal, seeing as the majority of things are made up anyway.
Don't follow the script, seekers, man. Like you said, make your own script. And when he was breaking it down to me, I just realized, yeah, everything, like you said, it's like an ad campaign, bro. It was created by somebody just to generate some money for a corporation. That's why I started watching these clips together with you, man. Actually, bro, I'm trying to break out of the script, bro. What the hell is that? Oh, he gone.
What Shorty thought she was just gonna smack Ice Spice and Ice Spice was gonna be scared? She from the Bronx, she ain't scared, and she held it down by herself, and she ain't had no security. Well, as you can see, Ice Spice is with her friend at McDonald's, no security. Shan walks up, I'm guessing they have a verbal altercation. She tried to swing on Ice Spice. Look at this shit. That's aggravating. Like, what you doing? Was she supposed to be scared? What, you thought she was scared?
She ain't scared. Not Ice Spice.
Mind you, she about to get a chicken, and her friend just walked in the back. Watch her friend walk in the back. You need not to be with that friend anymore. She just left. And this shit is about to trickle outside. So whoever the wild cowboy is right here, he was acting like he was going to hit Ice Spice. And if you look further in the video, it looked like he, I don't know. You gotta look at the video. Exactly. You see this shit? And then she said this.
And she was like, oh, I think that's Ice Spice over there. And I'm like, oh, for real? So I go up to them and I'm giving her and the other girl she was with compliment. And then immediately, Ice Spice was just being rude. She was like, why are you over here? You can leave, bye. And I'm like, why are you being rude?
It ain't look like she said that.
She was basically saying, like, you could just leave, bye. Like, I don't even know why you're at my table. That's when I proceeded to ask her, like, you don't got to be rude. I'm just giving you guys a compliment. And I'm like, you know what, where are you from? And she said, I'm from New York. So let me tell you something. I don't care where you're from. And I'm like, you in LA, you in my city now.
Either way it went, Ice Spice held her own. Either way it went, Ice Spice held her own. Get some security, man. And get some new friends, because your friend left, man.
She really left. I'm gonna have to break that up footage again, bro. But I think, he said her friend left her, bro. And the fact that that guy was trying to fight Ice Spice, instead of letting her, Ice Spice and that girl run the feed, bro. That's crazy, man. Like I said, when you get that big, when you're a celebrity like that, man, you have to have security, bro. That's Ice Spice. She tweeted, she was like, oh, this would have happened at Wendy's, bro.
Hello, stop scrolling. Stop scrolling. Did you see who they just elected in Hungary? You can't make this up. Academia, entertainment, banking, agriculture, military-industrial complex, politicians, world elite, WEF. Who? You're not crazy. I swear to God, you're not crazy. Because this is not normal. It's not normal. You remember that interview that Kevin Hart done a couple of years ago, and he said that when you make it, there's a door behind the door, behind the door, behind the door, behind the door. Those people behind all of those doors are the reason why the Diana files won't come out for 56 more years after everyone is gone. That's the reason that the Kennedy files, the ones that actually matter, won't come out anymore. The JE files, there's a plethora of information. Hey, this is all for intent purposes. I'll let you my opinion for smoke claim.
What is going on with Cash Patel? It's reports flying around right now that this man be drinking and he has been paranoid. And it got me thinking, what would make this man drink, and be paranoid. Now, he did come out and clearly deny the allegations. So much so that the people who put the allegations out there in the first place, he's talking about suing them. Now, I don't know if he's been drinking and he's clearly paranoid, but from my observation and yours, because I'm about to show you a video, let me know what you think. I know y'all remember this video. Watch this man's face. If it is paranoia, this is the video that started it. Nobody knows till this day what the hell he was looking at on that paper. It looked like he was disturbed. Whatever he's saying, he was disturbed. And he was clearly giving signals. Look at this shit. Is there something deeper behind the scenes that's going on that we don't know about yet? Whatever it is, this situation got a lot of people paying attention right now.
Your electric bill is literally going up right now so that tech companies can power AI, and they just committed $1.4 trillion to be able to do it. So if you're one of the people that have noticed that your electric bill has gone up recently, there is actually a very specific reason why it has. Utility companies actually just said that they're spending $1.4 trillion over the next 5 years to power AI, and your bill is going to be the one that's going to be paying for it.
A new report says U.S. utility companies are planning to invest $1.4 trillion over the next 5 years to help strengthen the nation's power grid.
Bills all across the country have already went up 40% since 2021, and they're now going up twice as fast as everything else. In Virginia alone, people's bills went from $100 per month to almost $300 per month, and 75% of the people there are directly blaming AI data centers. So that's insane. Obviously, nobody asked for it. It ended up getting so bad that some politicians are now trying to ban new data centers completely from being built, but nobody asked you if you were cool to be the one to pay for it in the first place. And even with all of that being said, on Kalshi right now, there's almost $400,000 that's being bet that's riding on inflation going higher, and the graph on the market is going straight up. So are we doing any better? They need $1.4 trillion to power AI, and I think they found it. It's in your electricity bill.
That is crazy, bro. How come we paying the price, man, for these companies, bro? Yeah, I wanted to invest in that AI and stuff. The bill should be stuck with you. They trying to dine and dash us, bro. They make it and they say, hey, man, y'all got this, bro. They stick us with the bill. That is crazy, bro. 1.4 trillion in AI, man. I thought the bubble was gonna burst already, bro. See, because actually, tell me down below, man, if you notice an increase, man, if you're in your electric bill. I genuinely want to know.
Can't be what we're thinking.
No.
It is.
You don't want to know what we thought.
It is the thing that you are thinking that it is.
Tom, turn around. He's been cracking everyone up. His name is Buttface, but he's interactive. So, of course, you squeeze his cheeks. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
And does a little chew.
Yep.
So you squeeze apart, pull apart his cheeks, does a little chew.
Yep.
And the longer you hold it, the longer the chew. Of course. But wait, that's not all.
That's not all.
He does a little twerking dance.
Oh, I like that.
He is everywhere. His name is Chester Cheeks. We are so excited. We're going to wipe the competition clean with Buttface.
And I kind of want one. I want to get like one. That would be perfect for him, the twerking butt.
I'm just in awe. It's literally Buttface. And it had a mascot. Wasn't that what we saw earlier?
Brilliant.
Like a life-size Buttface. This is our guy. Is that a nose or is that just the top of music? Would you like us to play the music? Oh my gosh.
All right, don't get too close. You might swallow it up.
I'm like fascinated and also mortified, but also intrigued. You're into this.
I'm slightly into this.
What is that? What will they think up next? It's cheeky. It comes with wipes. So.
That's a crazy toy.
I can't believe NASA is actually doing this. This is Artemis 2 coming back to Earth, and this is what NASA is showing us. They're showing us a bunch of people in an office, right? This is mission control. And first of all, the lighting is horrible here. And this is what we're getting. We're getting a CGI visualization of the re-entry, right? This is it right here, CGI. We're not getting any live footage. This is CGI. And this is the funny part right here. Look, they added stars. I have not seen one single star in this entire mission to the moon. They tell you, oh, well, you can't see the stars because of the sun. And yet right here, these people, they added stars to this visualization of the re-entry of Artemis 2. I'm telling you, these people are out of their minds. They need to try harder. They need to fire the entire staff and record label and crew. They need to do a better job.
Most of your stress in life would disappear if you just understood this one thing.
I don't think we were supposed to watch television and take on all the problems of the world. I don't think the body's equipped for that. No, there should be just a day that TV just goes off. Maybe a week the TV just goes off. What's so bad about that? In time we're going to find out that all of the media is a misconception. Anytime you place your life outside of yourself, you're going to suffer grave consequences.
You were not built to sit still for hours, absorbing hundreds of other people's problems. Back then, stress came from real things right in front of you. And now, you're carrying the weight of the entire world while sitting on your couch. And slowly, that is draining you. And the worst part, you start thinking that this feeling is normal. Give yourself a no input window every morning. No phone, no news, no scrolling, just you. Then limit what you consume. If it doesn't help your life, teach you something, or genuinely make you feel better, it's noise. Have y'all seen?
Hey, man. You gotta turn off the TV, man. Unplug, bro. Like I said. Just start in the morning, man, and just see like how long you can just stay. I guess you unplug from all the noise. I'm gonna take that advice though, because even I fall victim to that sometimes.
In this video where this guy is robbing the store and the police are there, they're going into the store and this guy actually shapeshifts into an animal and gets away. It is actually insane. It was taken in Mexico, so a lot of people think that this is a bruja, but right there you see it go from a human to what looks like a deer and jump out the window with the cops approaching the door. And it gets away. So look inside of this door right here. It's a human. And then it turns into what looks like a deer or maybe a dog. And it looks abnormally tall while it's shifting. It's like growing and shrinking, and it turns into an animal right here. There it is. And then it jumps out of a window and runs away as the cops are approaching. Now, before you say that this was AI, this was made years ago. This video is from like 2013 or 2014. And AI didn't exist back then. Now, I have heard plenty of stories about Bruja shapeshifting, but what do you guys think? What do you think this is? Let me know.
That weird flight, bro.
This boy should never praise a false idol. A news outlet in Mexico named Televisión Azteca documented a horrifying occurrence that took place in a church located in the city of Mexico, Baja California, where a family's praying when suddenly they begin to record the Virgin Mary statue after they claim they saw it blinking. The man pans the camera over to the statue, and after staring at it for a second, we can see the figure begins to smile. Startled, the man shakes his phone as he's left speechless to what he saw. In the past, there's been documented cases way before AI of these statues moving after being worshipped. In the Bible, it's known that idolizing objects is strictly forbidden. So, could this be the result of worshipping a false idol? Let me know what you believe.
Y'all come and watch this. Things are getting weird.
California. That's where the world's first ever fully autonomous AI-powered restaurant has opened, complete with burger flipping bots.
This automated grill gives the meat its sizzle as this restaurant goes robotic.
For this burger, it'll take about 120 seconds.
Cali Express by Flippy is the world's first AI-powered eatery. There's new technology outside the kitchen, too. A cheeseburger. Order kiosks use facial recognition to remember you, your favorite food, and how you like to pay. Then watch the robots work. No humans required.
We can't get enough people to come out to work on fryers and grills. They're dangerous jobs. And this automation helps solve a lot of those issues.
62% of restaurants report being understaffed. Industry experts say most of those unfilled jobs could be done by robots.
Isn't it crazy that they're saying that they have all of these unfilled jobs at the same time where people are complaining about jobs not hiring and literally being denied from places like McDonald's and Walmart? This shift is here, not near, guys, and they're shifting into where you own nothing and be happy about it. Project 2030. Here we go. It's just the beginning.
That's scary, bro. Would you guys eat at a freaking all AI, all robot, I guess, generated fast food place, man, where I guess there's no human workers, just plain robots? That's it? I can't trust that, bro. I need human service, man. I don't trust these robots, bro. You shouldn't either.
You are going to want to watch this video in full. This is CCTV footage coming out of Europe, and at first glance, it captures what appears to be a car speeding down the street. But oh, there's so much more to this video. It's truly paranormal. But when you zoom in, you quickly realize this isn't a shadow or an insect or even an animal. This appears to be a paranormal being chasing that car, but it's going so fast. I have slowed down the video for you. This is wild. Comment below, let us know what you think this could have been, or what this could have been.
The hell is that? Like jumping after it, bro. I'm gonna call him the Shadow Man. What the hell is the Shadow Man doing, bro? That was eerie.
Okay, this is the wildest, creepiest thing I've ever encountered as a mother. And I'm hoping somebody has answers or where this was from or who makes these. From a quick glance, obviously you can see it's just a girl's cute Easter dress. It came with like matching shorts, and she wore it multiple times around Easter time. From a quick glance, like there's like bunnies and there's eggs and jelly beans and baby chicks. And one day when she was napping, I just figured I would just take a peek and see what they actually said. Want to have an Easter egg hunt under the covers? This coupon entitles you to one free peep show. Let's pretend we're rabbits and do whatever comes naturally. This one's kind of hard to read, but something along the line of, my tulips want to be on your tulips. I'll nibble your ears if you nibble mine. And then the weirdest one, you've been the best husband and friend a girl could ever ask for. Like, what the fuck? This is sold as a baby girl's Easter dress. Who makes this shit and why are you selling it? The grandparents can't remember where they bought it, and I've never seen anything like this in my life, but read the fine print.
Who's behind that company? Yeah. Some questions definitely need to be asked, bro. They're putting that on little kids' clothes? Oh, then who else behind that company? Yeah. Need to ask you some questions.
Okay, can someone explain this pattern on the chicken? Like, what the fuck is that? I like noticed it when I took it out to take the top off to let it brown, and it was all over it. And now that I took the top off, I can only really see it. I mean, you can still see it. You can definitely still see it, but that's fucking weird. And I thought to myself, it must be the packaging, right? This is the packaging. There's no crisscross anything. This is an organic whole chicken from Aldi. There's no hashing in the packaging. I'm freaked out. I don't know if I can eat this fucking chicken now. Can I eat this chicken?
I wouldn't.
Can I feed this chicken to my family? What is that?
I watched this back a few times, and I do find this quite strange. When you look at the skin of this chicken, it does have this woven pattern. First I thought it could have been the packaging, but after showing the packaging, it obviously wasn't that. She did say this was an organic chicken. It almost looks like it was 3D printed. Is this chicken real? What are your thoughts on this? Leave it in the comments. Have you ever seen a chicken that grows a natural pattern? Leave it below.
Nah.
This system is broken, y'all. People are fed up. People are fed up. It's time to do something about it.
I just got denied from Walmart as a cashier. I have a fucking master's degree, bro. I went to school for 12 years. Got my high school degree. I went to for 4 years to get my bachelor's, and then I went for an extra 2 years to get my fucking master's. You know how much school that is? It's a lot. And the worst part is, maybe it's the best part actually, America. The government probably thinks it's the best part, huh? I'm $120,000 in debt. Yeah, because society wants to tell you to go to school, get your degree, oh my God, job security. Shut up. Please stop spreading that, because now I'm screwed, and I have no idea what to do. I've applied to over 300 companies, and I've got a response back from 11 of them. Why the fuck do you think I'm applying to Walmart to be a cashier? Because no one is hiring. Why do we even post a job offering if you're not going to hire anyone or respond? What are people doing for work? I need to figure something out. Because I wasn't doing UGC for brands that I found on side shift, my ass would be homeless. I would be fucking homeless.
Did you guys hear about the employee that burned down this warehouse in California, a 1 million square foot warehouse in California, all because it wasn't paying them enough? 1 million square footage?
This massive warehouse fire was allegedly the work of a disgruntled employee. Stunning new video appears to show the start of the fire. In a footage posted to social media, you hear someone say all you had to do was pay us enough to live. As stacks of toilet paper burn.
All you had to do was pay us enough to come. Get a job in 2026, nigga. Don't even try to get a job, bro. This is like applying for Harvard, my nigga. Like, I've never got this many declined letters, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I applied for a job, these niggas instantly, boom, email me back, like, sorry, we're gonna go with other candidates. Really, nigga, for Harvard, right? Like, man, you didn't even check my resume, you didn't even see what a nigga had to offer, you feel me? Like, you don't even know what I have to offer yet. You're gonna go with other candidates, like, you feel me?
Oh, I'm not gonna fucking make it in this fucking world because, like, tell me why I just went to fucking Kroger's and got groceries. I just got paid today. My last fucking paycheck. And I spent $73 fucking on popcorn, crackers, Cheez-Its, milk, ranch dressing, tomatoes. Just basic shit, man. Like, a box of fucking Cheez-Its and a box of fucking crackers was $5 a fucking piece. The ranch dressing was fucking $5. The tomatoes was $4. Like, the milk is $7 a gallon, and my kid drinks 3 gallons a week. That's $20 fucking. Like, how the fuck do I really get any goddamn food if it's $73 fucking? Like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Why is gas $5 a gallon? And then why do I have to pay rent? And why is rent so high? And why do I have to drive my car to get gas? And I have to get to go to the job, and I have to pay for rent? Why?
said, y'all broke it, y'all fix it. Y'all put it here, y'all gotta take it out, man. This is exactly what Trump is doing. But the shit is here. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's continue to get it. Peace out.
Facts I bet you didn't know, part 1. Your lips and anus are connected by the same tube. 90% of serial killers choose their victims by sexual desire. Your organs move freely around your body. Crows used to follow armies to feed on dead bodies. Human sacrifice was a real thing in Aztec Mexico.
Whoa. Bombarded with information, man.
Scariest mythical creatures from around the world, part 2. The Jersey Devil. The Jersey Devil is a legendary creature found in Pine Branch, South Jersey. It is known to look exactly like a giant flying goat, having an extremely long neck, massive wings, extremely short legs, and of course a tail as sharp as a sword. Don't forget to like and follow for a part 3.
Disturbing facts that will ruin your childhood, part 2. This little girl here is Judith Barcy. She played Ducky in Land Before Time. She also played Anne Marie in All Dogs Go to Heaven. In 1988, she was shot in the head by her own father. He also did the same thing to her mother. After that, he doused the bodies in gasoline, then proceeded to set them. And that's how the story ends. Her gravestone says yup yup yup, which is a quote from her character in the Land Before Time movies.
The creepiest places in the world. Gate to Hell, Turkmenistan. It's been burning for past 40 years, and no one knows when it's going to stop.
Lake Natron, Tanzania.
Due to high levels of salt contents, everything that touches the lake turns to pure stone.
Mythical creature caught on camera. Unicorn.
What is these could be edits, high quality edits.
Fairy.
I'm gonna have to call cap on it on this one.
Dragon.
Yeah, that's definitely a cap, bro. It's high quality. I give him that though. Imagine how the world would react if that was a real dragon.
Mermaid. Phoenix.
Is that bird on fire? Yeah, okay. Seen that
Insane
before.
Rulers in History Part 2. Ivan IV, aka Ivan the Terrible, was Tsar of Russia between 1547 and 1548. Abuse as a child gave way to mental illness as an adult, and Ivan began torturing small animals. In 1544, at only 14, he seized control of Russia by feeding the head of the government to a pack of dogs. He then began massacring his own people and even killed his oldest son himself. He would apologize publicly for his cruel actions and then immediately turn around and do something even worse. Prince Sado lived in Korea between 1735 and 1762. After being sick with measles at 17, he began acting violently, abusing his servants and attacking women. He began murdering on a whim and even began stalking his own sister, which was the point that the king had enough. To prevent the prince from spreading any more terror, the king had him locked in a rice chest where he spent 8 days until he eventually died.
Some of these those rulers, man. Like I said, lost in history, bro. I'm learning new things every single day watching the Two Guys Secrets. It goes to show you, man, how if you mess with somebody at a freaking young age, their childhood, it truly shapes the person they became. Look what happened.
story
sisters?
about the children on the bus. One night a man was on a bus on his way home from work. He thought he was the only person on the bus until he heard children's voices coming from behind him. He was listening to their conversation and was very interested. The two young boys were talking about a ghost story. They were saying, and if you turn around, the ghost will snatch you away and carry you to the underworld. The man recognized the boy's voice. He often seen the kids on the same bus on his way home from work every day. They attended a school nearby. Then the other boy was saying, "That's easy then. All you have to do is make sure you don't turn around." "Yeah," said the first boy. "But the thing is, you can't help but turn around. The ghost will try all sorts of tricks to make you turn around." The man then realized they were getting close to their stop. However, it looked like they didn't notice. When the bus stopped, the kids were still talking. The man thought he should warn them that they're gonna miss their stop, so he turned around to tell them. The man was never seen again.
Turned around. They told him don't turn around. The story, if he was listening to it. Creepy bus story, bro. Sounds legit to me.
I'm Gonna Ruin Your Childhood, Part 1. The original Wizard of Oz movie is actually considered to be cursed because of all the horrific things that happened during filming. The main character, Dorothy, who was played by Judy Garland, was actually drugged and molested during filming. She was given adrenaline shots so that she could stay up more than 48 hours at a time. And there are reports that she was sexually assaulted by the Munchkin actors and studio executives. The actress who played the Wicked Witch got horrifically burned on set. During the scene where the witch escapes Munchkinland in a plume of smoke, the pyrotechnic team set off the explosion a little too early. It caused the witch's broom, hat, and makeup to catch on fire. The medics had to rub alcohol all over the burns to remove the makeup, which was extremely painful. And the snow that you see in the movie was actually a lethal chemical called asbesto, which causes cancer.
This is the worst thing that ever happened at a concert. In 2003, the band Great White was performing live when pyrotechnics went off as planned. But within moments, everything took a horrifying turn. Flames erupted as the foam on the stage and walls caught fire, spreading faster than anyone could react. While the band managed to escape through the back exits, hundreds of audience members were left in chaos, desperately trying to find their way out. Thick smoke quickly filled the venue and people scrambled toward the front entrance, creating a wall of bodies as they clambered over each other in a desperate bid to survive. In the video of the incident, you can see people screaming and getting crushed to death. The situation spiraled as people became trapped, some crushed under the weight of others. And survivors described the scenes of half-burned victims being pulled out from the flames. Outside in the snow, survivors tried to help by rubbing snow onto the burned. But the devastation was immense. By the end, 100 people had tragically lost their lives, and over 200 were injured in one of the most heartbreaking concert disasters in history.
This skull was found inside the wall of a house in Illinois, and it turns out that it belonged to a woman that passed away more than 150 years ago. In 1978, James Scare was doing renovations on his home when he came across a skull behind the wall. He called police and they took the skull to further investigate. They knew it belonged to a woman, but could not identify who this person was until recently. In February 2024, with the help of genetic genealogy, they finally determined that the skull belonged to a 17-year-old woman named Esther Granger. Esther was born on October 6, 1848 in Indiana, and at 16 she got married, then pregnant, but passed away from complications after giving birth to her daughter in 1866. She was buried in a grave in Illinois, and her daughter was named after her. Now you're probably wondering, how in the world did Esther's skull randomly appear inside this man's wall in a completely different state? Well, even though investigators are not 100% certain, their theory is that Esther was a victim of grave robbing. Grave robbing is when someone digs up a grave and takes the body of a deceased person to often sell them to medical schools for research purposes. This was pretty common in that era since it was very profitable and there was a high demand for research and education. After searching for a family related to Esther, they found a man named Wayne, who's also a retired police officer in Portland, and he happens to be Esther's great-great-grandson.
This is the creepy story.
That's so disrespectful, man. People, they going in their graves, man, just for some money. And then, like she said, it was in that era, bro. It was like, goes to show you, even back in the day, man, people were doing wild things in the world. Grave robbing.
Story about the stare. A girl was on the subway late at night when she noticed a woman staring at her intensely. The woman was sitting between two old men. The girl kept looking away, but the woman staring never broke eye contact. It started to freak the girl out. At the next stop, a tall man in a trench coat boarded. He sat down right next to the girl. The woman who was staring paid no attention to the man who just boarded and just kept staring at the girl. Now this really creeped out the girl. The two men that the woman was sitting between never once looked in her direction. The girl then pretended not to notice, but each time she looked, the woman was still staring at her. At the next stop, the man in the trench coat got up to leave when suddenly he grabbed the girl's arm and dragged her out of the subway. The doors shut and the subway took off. The girl then started screaming for help, but then the man said, "Calm down. I just saved your life. I didn't mean to scare you, but I had to get you off that subway." The woman that was staring at you was dead, and the two men beside her were holding her up.
Oh, so it was a lifesaver then. Good people in the world, man, watching out for you, looking out for you. She didn't pick up on that.
A family was recording their reunion, having dinner, when they accidentally captured something disturbing outside. Jesus Aguirre was with his family at Argentina's Matias Hotel, enjoying a poolside dinner, when he decided to film the moment. As the family's enjoying their dinner, little did they know something horrifying would be captured.
See that?
As he pans the camera across the table, he sees this eerie pale person just standing there in the dark woods. Now, this could be just another guest staying at the hotel, but after zooming in, things get weirder. The figure doesn't seem to have any facial features, just a black mouth opening as the man zooms in on it. Not wanting to find out who or what this could be, the family finished their dinner and rushed back to their room. Zaguirre mentions he has no idea if what he saw that night was even human.
Yo, what's up?
What was
Here's
that?
some scary facts about our world that you probably didn't want to know. Part 45.
Egyptian mummies would still be considered one of the rarest artifacts to find up to date, if medieval Europeans hadn't consumed a majority of the dead mummies' bodies, because they believed back then that if you consumed embalmed dead bodies, that it would actually heal your ailments. Please do not try this next one, but it is actually possible that you can convince somebody who has no history of mental illness in their family that they have a severe mental illness in roughly only a week. Please do not try to convince your brother that he has schizophrenia. That would not be a good idea, and it would not end up well. Throughout the filming of The Exorcist, you hear the possessed girl let out multiple demonic screams, but little did you know that those screams weren't humanly possible, and they were actually the sounds of squealing pigs who were being taken to a slaughterhouse. And last but certainly not least, it is said that people who practice the religion of Zoroastrianism actually leave dead bodies up in towers so that vultures can consume their remains. To us it may seem a little strange, but to them it's actually a sign of respect. But when I die, please don't put my body in a tower so I can be eaten by vultures. It's just not my thing.
Indeed.
Their 15-year-old daughter because they claimed that it was safer than her doing it with someone else. Just a warning that this story is very disturbing, but it does need to be talked about. In March of this year, a 15-year-old girl had called police that her stepfather had been essaying her for the last year and a half. She also told them that her mother was aware of this and let it happen. Police interviewed John and Shamika Hayes, and they admitted to everything, and they claimed that they thought it was safer for them to do that to their daughter instead of her doing it with some random stranger. This all started when the girl was 14 years old. Her mother had found her Snapchat and saw that she was Snapchatting strangers, and she assumed that her daughter was trying to meet up with them. This part is disgusting, but her parents bought her toys to show her how to use them on herself and them. Police arrested and charged the parents, and they are currently being held at the Utah County Jail without bail. It was revealed that Shamika and John Hayes were a part of an LDS church, and it seemed like that church was trying to protect their image. The state of Utah recently passed a law that clergy are no longer required to report a crime of child essay if they know about it. So let's say someone goes to church to confess and they're talking to the clergy that they essay their child. That clergy does not have to report it. The church can also cover this up and control the media when these reports are given to authorities. these children are not being protected, and if they were to go to a church leader to tell them what was happening to them, they would basically tell them to forget about it and just forgive that person. If a child were to report to police that they were getting essayed by a church member, that specific church has laws to protect that person so their name doesn't get out there. I know that this case was probably very hard to listen to, but it's very important that this 15-year-old girl and many others get the justice that they deserve.
That was an insane case, man. All those freaking loopholes to protect them. That's wrong. I think that's the edit.
I think this could be the strangest disappearance I have ever heard. This 19-year-old Jason Jolkowski, and in 2001 he was living at home in Omaha, Nebraska with his family, very normal life, and it was a summer day, June 13th, where something very disturbing took place right off his street. Jason wasn't supposed to work this day, but he got called into work, and it was a place called Fazoli's. It's kind of just like a fast casual Italian place, but the problem was he didn't have his car that day. He had no transportation. This manager who made a couple of calls, and he arranged for one of the co-workers to go and pick up Jason at the nearby high school. For context, it's a very short walk from his house. It's quite literally only a few blocks. Problem was, Jason never showed. He had somehow completely vanished during this walk. He only could have gone so many ways. So one of the most logical was that he was going to take Bedford. It's a street with a lot of foot traffic, so people assumed that somebody would have seen him. An alternate option where maybe he took a couple of back roads to get to the high school. But again, what's known is that he never made it, and no one has ever found what happened to him, and nobody saw or heard what went down. Looking for more of a deep dive on this story, I'm probably going to cover it on The Sinister.
Terrifying facts you never knew. If your immune system ever found out that you have eyeballs, you would go blind. Which means right now, your immune system has no clue that you can see. Because if it did, they would attack your eyeballs until you can no longer ever see. This is because your eyeballs have a protein in them called crystalline that doesn't exist anywhere else in your body. So if your immune system found out and checked them out, it would be like, something's wrong here. Studies show that most serial killers are born in November. Today's high school students have the same anxiety levels as insane asylum patients had in the 1950s. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, my anxiety might be up there too. There's a disease called fatal familial insomnia, where people suddenly one day lose their ability to fall asleep, which leads them to slowly go insane. They can't distinguish dreams from reality anymore and go into some type of paranoia. It becomes so severe that they eventually die. Those that make it to the final stage and don't die usually end up in a vegetative state, no longer conscious. And it can happen to any one of you. About 3,000 people go missing every year in the United States. The last execution by guillotine was in 1977. This was in France. And also that was the same year the first Star Wars movie came out. You are always 6 minutes away from death, but breathing resets the clock. In 2011, Anatoly Yakovlevich was arrested for having 12 dolls in his apartment. Only problem is, they weren't normal dolls. They were recently deceased little girls that had been dug up and dressed to be put on display. In 2012, a Burger King employee anonymously posted this to 4chan. It said, "This is the lettuce you eat at Burger King." It only took 20 minutes for people to track down the branch that he worked at, and he was fired. You really never know what people are doing to your food. H.H. Holmes was a serial killer who built a torture hotel in the 19th century. He had secret rooms with gas chambers, trap doors, and stairs that led to nowhere. He loved to play with his victims' minds. It was almost like a real-life Saw movie. Joe Matheny was an infamous serial killer who not only cooked his victims to eat for himself, but also made them into burgers, using their remains. He then sold them to unsuspecting customers from a roadside food stand. We really never know what he is. I'm cooking all my food myself. Because why don't we eat over people's house? In 2021, a new homeowner was shocked to find a boarded up wall. When he ripped the boards off the wall, he discovered a hole. In that hole was a doll clutching a note. The note saying that she killed a family who lived there in the 1960s. Be honest, would you move out? In 1978, there was a pilot named Frederick Valentin. Him and his plane disappeared in Australia. His last communication was, "Melbourne, that strange aircraft is hovering above me again." It is hovering and it is not an aircraft. This is a mugshot of William West and William West. Oh, and they're not related at all. But they were both sent to Leavenworth Prison at the exact same time in 1903. And after some confusion, the staff finally figured out they were two different people who had the exact same name and looked identical. This was said to be one of the main reasons why we now use fingerprints to identify somebody. There's biotech being developed as we speak that can make prisoners feel they are serving an 1,000-year sentence in a matter of 8 hours. That's horrifying. Imagine thinking you spent 1,000 years somewhere And then when you wake up and snap out of it, you realize that it was only a couple hours. Do you know how crazy that is? Anyways, like this video if you want a part 2.
What's up, people on the internet? Alright, y'all check this out. Okay, so everybody kept asking, test all the foods, so that's exactly what I'm doing.
Alright.
All the foods that I love are tainted, y'all. I'm not even joking. This right here makes me so mad. Like, we just got these. And y'all can plainly see there's nothing white on top of this oatmeal cream pie.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. So y'all check this out. Look at that. What in the hell is going on? Y'all, I don't care what anybody says in the comments. That's not normal. I don't care. That's not normal.
It's contaminated.
I mean, it's only certain parts of it. Even the cream on the inside, you can't see it, it's smashed, but it don't even glow, and it's white. So, y'all let me know what y'all think about that. It's blown my mind. Like, when I'm done doing these series, I'm not going to be able to eat nothing.
Me either. I'll have to stay on this.
That's insane, y'all. Like, this makes me so mad. This is approved by the FDA. Millions of people eat these. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody in the South eats oatmeal cream pies pretty much. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. I'm going to start doing restaurant foods. And then we'll go from there. I mean, what can you do? I wanted to share that with y'all. Here y'all go. Oatmeal cream pie under a black light. That's crazy.
Have you seen the video of the alien walking the streets of Atlanta? Don't know what I'm talking about? Take a look at this.
Hey, space guy, man. Hey, bro, hey, can you tattoo alien flesh? Yeah, I guess, right? Yeah, but I'm trying to get 2 teardrops, but okay, dog. I took out the 4 whole solar system, but hey, come out, well. You know I need a teardrop big time, well. What's that, Zola? Yeah, but RP Zola, you know I'm going to RP that, what?
People in Atlanta are starting to believe that we have a real alien living amongst us and walking amongst us.
Yeah, but RP Zola, you know I'm going to RP that.
I think this is some kind of costume, bro.
Hey, well, I'm still sitting behind that shit. Hey, man. Shit, y'all licking the shit.
So if you're from the Atlanta area, let me know if you've run into the alien from Atlanta, and what are your thoughts? Real, or is that some type of costume? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
That's definitely a costume, man. He's in Atlanta, he need to hop on the stream with Kai, bro.
Nobody but me find this story crazy. This baby right here was technically conceived in 1994, but now born in 2024. Let that sink in. This baby was sitting in a freezer for 30 years. This baby has been in the freezer as long as some of y'all been alive. I'm talking about a full embryo in a cryogenic sleep for 3 decades, y'all. I only heard about this shit on sci-fi movies.
Yep.
But this is real life. These people trying to play God. Bruh, this baby has been frozen since Bill Clinton was the president. This shit is crazy, fool. And the couple was a couple out of Tennessee that did this. This baby got to skip out on a lot of shit that was going on. But it's crazy for them to have this baby now in this era. Cause I know this baby like, what the fuck? Now, I don't know what's wilder. The fact that this baby survived on ice for 30 plus years, or the fact that the scientists let this happen in the first place. Imagine telling these people, I want my baby to be frozen for 30 years and then I'm gonna have him. Do y'all know how crazy that shit sound? They already unlocking the next level of human cloning at this point. Then what I think about now is, I know this is not the only baby that's frozen. If they did it to this baby, how many other babies is frozen? This might be a newborn baby, but I'm telling you, this junk gonna come out with an old soul. Something nobody has ever seen before.
Tay just made an OnlyFriend. Not only did she just make $1 million in 3 hours, the pictures that Lil Tay is posting is not only concerning, but also scary. As soon as she turned 18, she did exactly what Bad Baby did. And first off, I need to know who the people who are subscribing to this, because they need to be put on a list. But they just got what they deserved after the pictures that they actually got from Lil Tay. And this is where it gets more worse. A lot of people thought that she took these pictures before she turned 18, and that the dudes that are buying this are literally spawn camping, because she has been talking about this for the past few weeks, and some of these people that have been saying that they've been waiting for this make me sick to my stomach. And thank God Lil Tay said that all of this was filmed after she turned 18, because she has been on the internet for so long, and the people that are consuming this new Lil Tay content have probably known who she is for a while now. But this is where it gets even more insaner. I wish I could make $1 million in 3 hours, and literally everybody on the internet is saying that all the pictures that Lil Tay is posting is literally nothing special. Basically posting glorified Instagram pictures. Do you feel bad for Lil Tay? Let me tell you some.
That's just insane, man. This is the society we live in, bro.
Interesting things that I just learned. Tears that are triggered by sadness, happiness, and onions all apparently appear different under a microscope. Bras were called breast bags in medieval times. A skyscraper called walkie-talkie, I guess because it looks like one, was melting cars and damaging buildings due to its ability to focus sunlight because of the concave shape that it was built in. That's just unfortunate, putting all that work in. Oh my goodness. 2 men climbed Mount Everest and then paraglided off the summit, touching down over 19 miles away in only 42 minutes, which allowed them to avoid the potentially deadly 3-day descent. Now that's what I call a shortcut. The Big Zero is a soccer stadium in Brazil where the midfield line is basically aligned with the equator, which causes each team to defend one hemisphere or the other. American Airlines saved $40,000 by eliminating one olive from its first class salads back in 1987. So that $40,000 was worth a lot more than it is now. The guy that named the movie Cars got a $300,000 bonus and reportedly was paid over $700,000 a year. Sometimes simplicity is just the way to go. Cars. Bulgaria sold 213,000 Bitcoin in 2018, which would now be worth $25 billion and actually would be more than enough to clear their entire national debt.
How is time travel not real? When James Franco and his brother are in a magazine from 1972. Watch this. Old, adult magazine from 1972. That is James Franco and his brother. You can't convince me otherwise.
Similarities, I see.
Either they are time travelers or immortal vampires who never unalive, ever. Either way, it's super crazy. As always, thank you for watching. Until next time, stay weird.
There's this girl on TikTok who is claiming to have proof that her neighbor is watching her through her window. At first, I didn't see what everybody else was seeing. I didn't know what they were talking about. Turn up the brightness on your phone. Then throw the phone out the window. A full-blown face in the window. People were in the comments and they were like, why haven't you contacted the police about this? Other people in the comments were saying, she did. The police are not following up on it. Like pulling that card like, is this person actively trying to break in? Has this person caused you harm before? That's why they're not doing anything. What would you do in this situation?
Imagine a bakery making you a sandwich that pisses you off so bad, you come back 4 years later to stab somebody. That's exactly what happened in this case. 2 deli workers were stabbed over an angry customer that had a bad sandwich from here 4 years ago. And it wasn't that it tasted bad. The customer had a certain allergy to something. However, he was served that thing anyways and it made him sick. So he was plotting and scheming like the damn Joker for years. And I need to emphasize again, this was 4 years ago. It happened in Paterson, New Jersey. The 2 brothers that owned the bakery were the ones attacked. Their names are Assad and Mohammed. They've owned the bakery for decades. Suspect apparently confronted one of the girls that was working there, and then he used a box cutter to attack the brothers. Also, to be clear, 4 years ago, they tried to make it right with the guy. You know, the order was wrong, they acknowledged that. They even offered to give him, like, free stuff and, like, other things like that. They even offered him more compensation just because, he had an allergic reaction, but he refused. Now, for the sandwich in question, he ordered an egg sandwich years ago, but he got an eggplant sandwich, and apparently he's allergic to that. As for the brothers that got stabbed, they're being treated for non-life-threatening injuries. They're hospitalized right now, so, I'm glad they're okay. This might be the crash out of the week. I would say crash out of the century, but people crash out crazy every week and they surprise me.
I fell into the still water. Help! Yep, we're talking about still water again today. Here is a flooded bank vault with a bunch of still water and probably more brain-eating amoebas than dollars. Who wants to go into the flooded cellar of doom that probably has Pennywise in it and still water? I don't remember why I saved this. This isn't even still water. That's just a creepy lizard. This still water Ussie. And here is a picture of some still water with its bacteria in it. That is vile. Here's still water under a microscope, in case you were wondering. Do not ever jump in that stuff. You will be, unfortunately, exited from this earth. This looks like my matcha water that I drink every day. But you know what? I'm not gonna let it stop me from loving matcha. That giant pipe in that still water like that looks disgusting. Look, it's a pool full of Diet Coke.
No,
it's
it
not
ain't.
Diet Coke. And once again, this water looks like if you fell in it, you would become the Hulk or Shrek. And the worst photo of still water that has ever existed. I don't know where this is, but there is at least 5 billion diseases in that little pool alone. How do you feel?
The Grand Canyon is on fire. In fact, it's been on fire for almost a month. And it's not even like it's small. Over 1,000 firefighters have been struggling to contain 2 fires. One called White Sage, we'll get to that, and the other called Dragon Bravo, which are on and around the North Rim. So far, they've burnt the equivalent of 113,000 football fields, destroyed close to 100 structures, including homes of park officials, a visitor center, a gas station, a water plant, and even the historic Grand Canyon Lodge. And the reason you may or may not have seen people freaking out about this on TikTok is because white sage is a sacred medicinal plant, often burnt by Native American tribes for cleansing and purification. Lord knows we need some of that right now. And authorities currently believe that both fires were started by lightning, believe it or not. Oh, they really don't want us to see August. The white sage fire is currently 83% contained, while Dragon Bravo, on the other hand, is only 4% contained. And recent reports say that it tripled in size in just 3 days. See you in August, hopefully.
They're saying that one person is dead and 22 people are sick from Legionnaire disease in Harlem. And if you don't know about Legionnaire disease, it's not a disease that spreads from person to person. It's a bacteria that spreads like mist. So this bacteria is often found in water, and it usually hides in cooling towers on the top of buildings. The same cooling towers that gives building air conditioning, which means the mist from those air conditioners spreads throughout people. And that's how Legionnaire disease goes from person to person. So basically, you can be walking past one of these places and take a deep breath, and that bacteria can go into your lungs and you're infected. And this infection is sort of like pneumonia. And when some people acquire this bacteria, they don't make it. So if you're having pain in your chest, diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting, fevers or chills, you might need to go see a doctor. Because again, 22 people are sick and one person has already lost their life. And of course, we're talking about New York City. We're talking about Harlem. That means that there's a lot of people walking around through these areas and they don't even know this is happening. Pay attention.
An orangutan was kept in a brothel, dressed up, and forced to live like a human. Pony was taken from the wild as a baby in Borneo after her mother disappeared. Instead of freedom, they trapped her in a place where she was treated like a possession, but not kindly. They kept her in a brothel made to wear clothes and makeup and forced her to be around people all day long. The really sad and disgusting part is this wasn't a secret, this wasn't hidden. Many people in the village knew what was happening. In fact, when a team arrived to rescue her, they faced resistance. Some locals did not want Pony to leave. It took a huge effort from a lot of people to be able to bring her to safety. So sad. Like, after the rescue, Pony was deeply traumatized. She even forgot how to behave like an orangutan and had to relearn basic skills like eating natural food or climbing trees. Pony's story really shows us why protecting wild animals and their home is so important. This is not the only story like this, as crazy as that is. Without this kind of protection, animals can suffer in ways that people could never even imagine. What do you think should be done to help animals like Pony? Follow for more.
Apparently, there's
Good thing Pony's free.
that went on 4chan recently, a couple weeks ago, and he's like, they found in this cave in Antarctica this egg-shaped UFO-looking thing, which that's what we talked about a week ago.
Yeah.
And apparently, after this came out, it gave this one guy the courage to disclose the stuff that they found in Antarctica, supposedly, of this same egg-shaped UFO that they found. But what's also strange is we talked about the hieroglyphics that a lot of people reported seeing on these UFOs. Same thing happened with this UFO, where there's really weird hieroglyphics all over it. Also, there's like a weird catacomb or like a coffin. It looked like a marble sarcophagus, very similar to the one that we talked about in Russia, where that lady was in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that first picture, some of it looks almost like Hebrew.
Yeah.
That looks just like that letter in Hebrew. That one. Super weird, but apparently they're calling him an alien, but he looked like a tall, Nordic-looking man, very pale skin, long blonde hair, 7-8 feet tall, was in that sarcophagus, woke up, and was conversing with them.
Robots are...
So we got freaking alien eggs in Antarctica. You know, some weird things be going down there, but that's my first time hearing about it.
stealing human jobs faster than anyone predicted, and 8 major industries just proved human workers are becoming completely obsolete. Waymo autonomous taxis are already serving 200,000 paid rides per week with 0 human drivers, while Amazon deployed 750,000 warehouse robots that sort packages faster and more accurately than any human worker. In China, robotic gas station attendants refuel cars without human help, and robot chefs trained on 5 million recipes are cooking restaurant-quality meals with perfect precision every single time. Boston Dynamics robots are now operating professional film cameras and performing backflips while capturing movie scenes, completely replacing human camera operators who spent decades mastering their craft. The most terrifying example is robots repairing high-voltage power lines because utility companies realize machines never get electrocuted, never fall, and never demand overtime pay or health insurance. These aren't prototypes or future concepts. Every single one of these robots is working right now, earning money for companies while human workers get laid off and replaced. From taxi drivers to warehouse workers to professional chefs, robots are proving they can do almost every job better, faster, and cheaper than the humans who used to do them. The job apocalypse isn't coming in 10 years, it's happening today, while most people are still pretending their careers are safe from automations. Which job will be the last one that robots can't steal from humans?
The Ring of... What do you guys think, Seekers, man? That's scary, bro. Robots are just infiltrating the jobs and taking them all away from humans, man. That's crazy, bro. No industry is safe. Guess some, maybe like probably like sports, maybe entertainment. I don't know, but who knows, man? Maybe they probably gonna try to infiltrate those fields as well. Be careful out there, man. If you have a job, like we gotta think of a side hustle or something.
Fire is active, and I think we have reached a point of no return. We have been having earthquake after earthquake after earthquake after earthquake. This one was in the U.S. Back to back to back earthquakes, and these are not little earthquakes either. Ring of Fire having so much activity that a 500-year-old volcano just erupted in Russia. Let's not forget to mention all of the other volcanoes that's waking up across the world too. And I told y'all we was gonna start seeing a lot more activity after them underwater currents did a reverse. This is what caused the day after tomorrow to happen. Go watch this movie. We have been getting hit with non-stop earthquakes all over the world. I know this is the part of the video where I bring up Matthew 24, nation rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and it'd be earthquakes in strange places. Those are the signs of birthing pains. Keep making videos and letting y'all know that we on borrowed time, gang. It's time to get your life right with Jesus, because all of these earthquakes that's happening, volcanoes erupting, just signs of the second coming. Now y'all let me know what y'all think about these earthquake swarms that's happening all across the world in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom. Stay tuned. And remember, if you want to grow your social media and get paid or passive revenue, comment down below, hub, and I'm going to send the resources in your DMs.
Here's every celebrity that Trisha Paytas has reincarnated in her womb. The dates and the times of these coincidences are insane, and why she decided to get her tubes removed, therefore never giving birth or reincarnating ever again. So just yesterday, it was announced that Trisha Paytas gave birth to her third child, a boy named Aquaman. And no, I'm not kidding. And when it was announced that Aquaman was born, literally, it was uncanny how the announcement of Ozzy Osbourne's death was announced 1 minute before. You could not make this stuff up. And in all seriousness, RIP to Ozzy Osbourne. But what's even crazier is that, guess who hosted Ozzy Osbourne's farewell concert just a couple weeks before he died? Jason Momoa, who plays Aquaman. And then Ozzy Osbourne gets reincarnated into Aquaman. And this is how Ozzy is living it up now. He's already in his little Aquaman suit. Trisha put on her Aquaman shirt right after giving birth. He's really going off the rails on a crazy train now. And Trisha's response to her most recent reincarnation was liking a comment that said, "You should have taken Trump, not Ozzy." Now this whole Trisha Paytas' womb is the portal to reincarnation conspiracy theory started when Queen Elizabeth died on September 8th, 2022. And then Trisha Paytas' first child, Malibu Barbie, was born on September 14th, 2022.
I don't understand why my womb is carrying all these souls.
Now, a lot of people thought Trisha Paytas' second child, Elvis, was actually the reincarnation of the Pope, but the Pope actually died a little bit too early for that to be the case. Trisha Paytas' second daughter, Elvis, is actually the reincarnation of O.J. Simpson, who died just a couple weeks before she was born. But sadly, this conspiracy theory that Trisha Paytas always gives birth right when a very notable public figure dies and reincarnates them is now coming to an end because Trisha said she had to get her tubes removed because she's had 3 C-sections and it wouldn't be safe or optimal for her to give birth again, so her and her doctors decided to remove her tubes after her last birthing of Aquaman. And I love how Trisha has always been in on the joke. She knows the internet just likes to have a little bit of fun.
The whole movie was a metaphor for using artists to bring people to the dark side.
Oh, that's
the whole
fun.
movie was a metaphor. I watched it again recently, and it clicked in my head, bro. In that one scene, remember what happened when the main vampire was saying, "Just give us Sammy, and then we'll leave you guys alone." Yeah, Sammy. Yeah,
Sammy. You're the one I came for. I want to see my people again. I'm trapped here, but your gifts can bring them to me.
He said to, "I just want Sammy for his talent." Okay. So he wanted his talent. Why? Because the way he was attracting more and more people was through music. Through music, using musical artists because it's a spiritual thing regardless, but you can manipulate where they go.
Oh, that's so much.
And they use songs and music in worship. They use it everywhere. Yeah. But they also use it in the clubs and parties, right? But if the things you guys are chanting together are, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my
real
God.
bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that energy is coming towards you guys, and if it's violent things, it's like casting a spell.
Insane Lawsuits, Part
Right in
1.
front of us.
In 2009, a Canadian woman named Karen Sala sued Keanu Reeves for $150,000 a month in child support and $3 million in spousal support, claiming he had fathered her 4 adult children. She alleged that Reeves had used hypnosis and even shapeshifting to disguise himself as her ex-husband before impregnating her. Reeves denied ever meeting her, and a DNA test confirmed he was not the father. Despite Sala's bizarre claims that the DNA test was tampered with, the judge dismissed the case as baseless and a waste of court resources. Reeves later referred to the ordeal as horrible. Anna Ayala famously sued Wendy's after claiming she found a human finger in her bowl of chili, but investigators soon discovered she planted it herself. It was a severed finger she received from a friend who had lost it in a workplace accident. She was later sentenced to 9 years in prison for attempted grand theft. In the 90s, a student named John Leonard tried to claim a Harrier jet that Pepsi jokingly offered in a commercial for 7 million Pepsi points. He legally submitted enough money to buy the points, but Pepsi refused. Leonard sued, but the court ruled that the ad was clearly a joke and dismissed the case, saying no reasonable person would think a military jet was a real offer.
4 bodies, all found within close proximity of one another and within a 4-day window. This is weird. It has been quite a chilling week for the North Yorkshire seaside town of Whitby. Personal favourite of mine, actually. Just listen to this. On July 30th, 2 bodies were airlifted to hospital. 1 male, 1 female. That was from point 1. It was believed that the pair had fallen off the cliff, and the police said there was nothing suspicious. The very next day, July 31st, a woman in her 60s was found at the bottom of the cliffs at point 2. Police deemed it to be consistent with falling from a height and then ruled it not to be suspicious. Then on Saturday, August the 2nd, the body of a woman in her 50s was found at point 3. Again, her injuries were consistent with a fall, and police deemed it not to be suspicious. That concludes 4 bodies within a 4-day window, all within the same area, very, very close. How is that not suspicious?
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 32. The most isolated place on the planet is a little dot in the Pacific Ocean called Point Nemo.
Wow.
It's the furthest spot from any kind of land, and the closest civilization is 1,000 miles away. In 2019, filmmakers hired 3 young-looking actresses to pose as 12-year-old girls for a documentary about online predators. Over the next 10 days, they received a combined 2,458 messages from sexual predators. Sarcasm is actually illegal in North Korea. In 2007, a woman died after drinking a little over a gallon of water in 3 hours. And she did it in order to win a Wii.
For a Wii? Really?
Yo, what's up? Here's some scary facts about our world that you probably didn't want to know. Part 15. In the original version of Little Red Riding Hood, instead of just the wolf eating the grandmother, it was supposed to consist of the wolf and the granddaughter eating the grandmother. Sorry, Grandma. In a survey that many commercial pilots were asked to take, 56% of them admitted to falling asleep behind the wheel. Now you know why so many people are afraid of planes. There's a respiratory disease called Onden's Curse that if you fall asleep, you could potentially die. That's why you need to stay awake for as long as you can. Some theaters actually hired priests to bless the viewers in a theater after watching the movie The Conjuring because they felt a negative presence. Yeah, it was probably a demon. The TV show Little Bill, who was made by Bill Cosby, was actually based on Bill Cosby's son, who was murdered when he was 27 while changing his tire on the side of the interstate.
Wow, I never knew that.
If you have kids, you probably had no idea that digging a hole in the sand can be this dangerous. In 2024, Teresa and Jason were vacationing in Florida with their 7-year-old daughter Sloan and their 9-year-old son Maddox. They were at the beach when their kids began playing and digging in the sand. They dug a 4 to 6 foot hole when suddenly the sand collapsed, burying Sloan first and then her brother Maddox on top of her. Their parents were sitting only a few feet away and tried their best to quickly save them, but Sloan was sucked by the sand completely. Like her whole body was in the sand, and Maddox was only sucked in from the chest down. People at the beach quickly tried to dig the sand out to help save these 2 kids, but the walls just kept collapsing in. And after calling for help, it took about 20 minutes to get the kids out. Maddox did survive, but Sloan unfortunately lost her life. This is so devastating because I've never heard anyone talk about this before. And seeing your child lose their life by doing something so innocent like playing in the sand, I don't know how you can ever get over that. It's been advised that children should not be digging deeper than 2 feet because of how dangerous this is.
What is that behind Matt Rife locked inside the case with the Annabelle doll? I zoomed in better so you could see I outlined the figure, and then here it is with the exposure increase. Matt Rife is one of the owners of the Conjuring house as of this week. Yes, the real one that inspired the film. This is the place that houses the real Annabelle doll. And if you know anything about this doll, it is not that she is haunted, it's that a demon has latched onto her. Think about it like a puppeteer. Annabelle is just the puppet. A lot of people are looking at this photo that he posted on Instagram and thinking that we caught a glimpse at the demon itself. I will say, the more that I look at this photo, the more I analyze it, the more you can see that there's a neck, there's a head, and there's a body, which you would think like, oh, that's a figure, right? But what is standing right in front of it? A neck, a head, and a body. You can see that the jaw on it, or the cheekbone, like this area, is also very like chiseled, similar to Matt Rife. Like, it seems to have the same profile. So while I think it's fun to think that that is like creepy eyes, I think it's just like slits in the wood perhaps, or maybe just like lighting from the camera, and that's actually just Matt's silhouette. Like, the way the light is capturing it, it's like Matt is standing like this. I'm not convinced, but I know a lot of you are. Let me know what you believe and follow for more. And if you want to hear me talk for longer, I have a YouTube channel. It's my name.
This is a beautiful, true story from the 7th century. A short, authentic story of Umar ibn al-Khattab, the second caliph of the Islamic Empire. Once upon a time, very late at night, in the city of Medina, Umar ibn al-Khattab was sitting alone in his work chambers, writing by the light of a small candle. He wasn't dressed like a king. He didn't live in a big palace. He was simply sitting down with papers in front of him, handling the affairs of an empire that stretched across nations. Suddenly, his advisor and close friend, Ubay ibn Ka'b, walks in. He requested to speak to Umar about a personal issue. As soon as Ubay spoke, Umar paused. He reached over and gently blew out the candle. Ubay was confused. "Oh, Umar, why did you put out the light?" he asked. Umar replied, "This candle is paid for by the public treasury. I was using it for state matters. But since you've come to me to speak about something personal, I'll use a candle I bought myself with my own money. This shows you the trust that the ancient Arab rulers had. Umar ruled an empire, but he feared wasting even a single drop of wax that didn't belong to him. He understood that leadership is not power, it's a trust, and trust must never be betrayed, not even in the dark when no one is watching."
Okay.
Is nobody talking about the long walk being enforced by the government? If you haven't heard about this, it is an event that is sanctioned by the government and it is exclusive to teenage boys. 50 boys are selected by the government, and right now they are in the process of choosing the next 50, but for what reason? Every participant must walk in a continuous path at a pace of 3 miles per hour. If you do fall behind, you're given something like 3 warnings before you are entirely eliminated. There's no food, there are no breaks, there is no outside help. Reports are saying we might be getting some of the first images released from the walk, but the question is, why is this even happening? What is the point of it? The last one standing in the walk could win a prize of anything they wanted for the remainder of their lives. The question is this something that you could imagine that you would even make it to the end of?
Long walk. It's that movie, isn't it? It has to be. I keep seeing commercials about it.
This is why you should never use the word zombie in a horror movie. Have you ever noticed in zombie movies, they never actually say zombie? Like, there's always something else that they say. Like the undead, the living dead, walkers, biters, infected, brain eaters. It's almost like they're avoiding saying this word on purpose, and that's actually because they are. I was really shocked to learn that the word zombie doesn't come from Hollywood. It comes from Haitian folklore. And it's way darker than something you're used to seeing on the screen. It's not just a monster, it's not just like the undead. A zombie was a person who was resurrected against their will and forced to keep working after death. The word first appeared in America in a travel memoir that was written back in 1929 called The Magic Island. In this book, the author claimed that he saw actual zombies in Haiti, not flesh-eating monsters, like vacant, lifeless laborers on a plantation. And it wasn't a metaphor. The locals told him that these were dead men that were still working. And they really tried to make him believe that this was real. It was real to them, at least. And here's the thing, in the Haitian culture, being a zombie wasn't scary because they'd like eat your brain. Being a zombie was scary because it represented enslavement. Like the way they looked at it, you're like oppressed your whole life, it finally ends, and then your body would still be controlled. Like you wouldn't even have ownership in your own death. But then, of course, Hollywood does what it always does. In 1932, the movie White Zombie came out. And this is the first time the word zombie was used in a film. And it took everything very literally. Like, there was like a voodoo priest who was raising corpses to work for him, exactly like this book. Except this time they made it like campy. And they stripped the metaphor and they turned it into this monster story. And that's why today the word zombie is kind of like radioactive. Writers really try to avoid using it. It's kind of like one of those things that's a little too close to history, and it's one of those things that people trace back to like slavery and like racism, and it's not like just a monster, it's like a reminder of that. Send this to your friend who thinks they know everything about zombies, and come over here for more freaky.
Wow, I never knew that. And I have noticed yet that they don't say zombies in movies like that. So, like she said, walkers, biters. That's why, okay.
More red flags are popping up with this case. On Thursday, August 14th, these parents said that their 7-month-old baby was apparently kidnapped out of Yucaipa, California, but the more details that come out about this case, the more people think that's not what happened. Here's the story. These parents, Rebecca and Jake Harrow, said that they were at a youth football game for one of their other kids, and that's when Rebecca decided to go to a Big 5 retail store to pick up a mouth guard. When she got there, she realized the baby needed a diaper change, so she took him out of the car seat, and that's when she said an unknown male came up from behind her, knocked her out, and took the baby. People started to become suspicious after seeing the parents' interviews and realizing they didn't shed a tear, didn't struggle to speak, and at one point even spoke about the baby in the past tense.
He was very playful. He loved his sister. His sister always kissed him.
It was a healthy baby. It was crawling. He was kicking. He was playing with.
And after people did some digging, they found out the father, Jake, was previously found guilty of willful child cruelty and found guilty in 2023. And now the local sheriff's office came out with a statement saying after interviewing the parents, the mother, Rebecca, had inconsistencies with her initial statements about the alleged kidnapping, and after being confronted about those inconsistencies, she chose to end the interviews at that time. And people also noticed that her black eye doesn't look recent, it looks much older, and not only one eye looks injured, but both of them do. Prayers to this poor child. Let me know what you guys think, and as always, I'll keep you guys updated.
Have you guys heard about the disappearance and murder of Maya Millete? On January 9th, 2021, 39-year-old and mother of 3 Maya Millete was reported missing by her sister and brother-in-law. The last time Maya was seen by her family was on January 7th, which was 2 days before the family set to travel to Big Bear for her daughter's birthday. Maya's family became extremely worried when she stopped answering phone calls and text messages, so that's when they went to her house to look for her. Maya's husband, Larry Millete, tried to convince her family to avoid calling police, and he insisted that Maya probably went out to blow off some steam after a fight they had. Larry and Maya had been having issues in their marriage for a while, and her family was aware of that, but they never thought that he would be capable of hurting her. During the investigation, Larry became distant to Maya's family, and he did not want to participate in the searches and even went about getting a lawyer. Investigators also found that Larry was in contact with a spellcaster, and evidence showed that he tried to hex Maya, hoping she would get in an accident, break her bones so that she would not leave him. Investigators also learned that the last call Maya made before she went missing was to a divorce attorney. Even though Larry denied having anything to do with Maya's disappearance, a neighbor's surveillance camera captured what sounded like gunshots in their house the night Maya went missing. Larry was arrested on October 19th, 2021 and charged with first-degree murder and felony possession of an assault weapon, but he pleaded not guilty and insists that Maya left on her own. Maya's family is extremely heartbroken because not only have they not located Maya, but her 3 kids are left without a mother and a father.
Evidence is right there. You're still gonna try to deny it.
Celebrities who are allegedly rude to their fans, part 1. First up, we have Avril Lavigne. People allege that Avril Lavigne did not want to get anywhere near her fans after a slew of awkwardly distanced photos went viral. It looked like she wanted nothing to do with her fans, and Brazilian fans came out and said they paid $400 to take these awkward family photos. Avril did come out and say that she does love her fans and does get close to them, but just not in certain countries, mainly based on security breaches. Next up, we have James Corden, and I have a personal story about this, but on a thread on Reddit, fans said that during a filming of a UK game show called A League of Their Own, James Corden threw multiple tantrums and screamed at anybody who asked to take a photo with him. When I went to a taping of The Late Late Show, he only acted like he cared about his audience when the cameras were rolling. When the cameras were done rolling, he went on his phone, and he yelled at us when he felt like we weren't clapping or laughing loud enough. Maybe you're just not funny. And lastly, we have Justin Bieber. From canceling meet and greets, acting erratically, and refusing hugs and pictures, it's hit or miss.
I don't know why everybody keeps treating these celebrities like they bigger than life, man. They human like us. Believe like we do. People, man, when they get their celebrities in their heads, it makes them go crazy. I don't know why they do it, bro. Obsessing over a person.
Here's why you might not want to visit your mom on her birthday. A man was stuck in traffic while driving home after visiting his mother for her birthday. The man was so frustrated that when the GPS told him to take a detour, he went right away, which might have been a mistake. His gas light then came on, so he decided to pull into this super barren town to fill up his tank. So the man went in, pumped his gas, and when he went to pay, the clerk was super weird. He didn't acknowledge him and just gave him a creepy smile. The man then went outside and saw a woman just standing in the middle of the road and said, "Are you okay?" And the woman looked at him and said, "Ah, yes, we are happy here." The man was like, "What?" and just drove out of there. Till a cop pulled him over and said, "Sir, you can't drive. Driving's illegal here." The man had had enough and literally just went pedal to the metal and zoomed out of there. When he got home, he was just so confused. The people looked real but didn't act human. He tried to research it but decided, next year I'm just sending my mom a card.
I don't know what part of town he was in, but he did the right thing
All
for
the
it.
rappers you listened to crossed the line, and we were all wrong about them. Even the biggest, most powerful names had to do something to go from regular stars to global icons. But let's get one thing straight. Nobody gets there with just talent and luck. A new rapper starting out? That's a whole different world. It's not like they drop a track and instantly lose their soul or something. In the beginning, it's a slow climb. They start buzzing. But at some point, they hit a wall. That point where you're no longer just an artist, you become a global brand. And it's usually right then that they make a critical choice behind the scenes, one nobody really notices. Travis Scott before Astroworld was already good, but after that album, whole different league. Playboi Carti, we don't even need to say much. The whole vibe around him is straight up dark, and he owns it. And when you actually listen to some of the lyrics, it's hard not to feel like they're coming from somewhere else entirely, like it doesn't even sound like them anymore. Everyone here will have their own opinion and make their own judgment, but still, be careful what you're listening to, because sometimes it's not just music.
Careful what you're listening to, Secret Man. That's true.
Celebrity children with weird ass names, because as always, when you have money, you can do whatever you want. Leading the pack, we have a 2-for-1 special, Toni Braxton's sons, Diesel and Denim. You heard me, Diesel like the gas, Denim like the jeans. Who the fuck looked Toni in the eyes and said, "Oh my god, yeah, those are beautiful names"? Whoever they are belongs in fucking jail. Returning to the list for another heinous name crime is Jamie Oliver with his son, River Rocket Blue Dallas. A mouthful and a clusterfucking one. The kid is adorable, but we could have just went with River. Rocket Blue Dallas, what the fuck is the point? Then we have Bear Grylls' son, Huckleberry. I would say I'm not surprised because he's a whack job, but he named his other son Jesse. Where did we go wrong? Next up we have Gwen Stefani's son, Zuma Nesta Rock. Like the song goes, if I was a rich girl, I would name my kid whatever the fuck I want. And lastly, WWE superstar Brie Bella's son, Buddy Dessert. Were we hungry?
That's the thing, man. They have every right.
This journalist was essayed by over 200 men right after the camera battery died.
This is about freedom.
Laura Logans was a well-known journalist for CBS News, and on February 11th of 2011, her and her crew found themselves in Egypt because the president had resigned. Laura was covering the celebrations in Tahrir Square, where people were chanting, happy, and celebrating their freedom until things took a turn for the worse. While Laura and her crew were filming, the camera's battery suddenly died, and as the men around her started to notice, their celebrations quickly turned to violence. The men started to gather around her so that she was separated from her crew, and for the next 25 minutes, she was essayed in the most horrible way. They tore off her clothes, took pictures with their cell phones, pulled her body in different directions, essayed her with flagpoles and sticks, and even ripped out her hair in chunks. Thankfully, a group of women were camping nearby, saw what was happening to her, and were able to pull her out. Laura survived just barely and returned to the US, but since there were so many men that did this to her, they weren't able to prosecute any of them. But instead of staying quiet, Laura came forward with her story in hopes it would prevent this from happening to other women, especially in her field. Prayers to this poor woman. Let me know what you guys think, and as always, I'll keep you guys updated.
That's a tragic story, man.
The world's most dangerous conspiracy theories. Are you guys happy? Okay, so tier 6. Today we're going to be talking about poisonous oxygen hallucination. This is where you need to start opening your mind. We are going to cover two different theories on this one. The first one states that oxygen is poisonous and that everything around you is a lie. People believe the government created oxygen to control the world's population. With that being said, the average lifespan of inhaling oxygen is around 80 years. Theoretically, humans can live forever, but the government created oxygen so that way they could save resources and kill off the population every 80 to 100 years. Not only does this oxygen kill us, but it also allows us to hallucinate. Some of the evidence people use to prove this theory is oxygen toxicity. Oxygen toxicity is when you inhale too much oxygen, creating lung damage and can even kill you, which leads people to believe if we need oxygen to live, why can it also kill us? The second theory is similar with some minor differences. The second theory states that oxygen makes us hallucinate, suppressing our thoughts and emotions. If humans keep inhaling oxygen, they can't see the world for what it really is. Some of the proof people use to prove this theory is, well, drugs. People who take LSD always talk about how beautiful and vibrant the world is. Even in some cases have spiritual breakthroughs and learn something about themselves that they could not have figured out on their own. For instance, Francis Crick was on LSD when he discovered DNA, and apparently he said his spiritual beings showed him exactly what it looked like, and he credits 2/3 of all of his research to it. So people think that the government made these drugs illegal so that nobody can think differently and it keeps everybody in line. Obviously, I'm not advocating for this, I'm just telling you the most dangerous conspiracy theories. But make sure to like and follow because we have a lot more to learn.
They tortured her. They brutally tortured her. They sexually assaulted her. They strangled her. They mutilated her body. You guys, they broke her nose. They broke her neck. They severely damaged her organs. It was devastating to hear what these individuals did to Sasadi. 3 individuals knew that nobody went into the old mud house. They also knew that that storage closet was unlit, so they would be able to use the darkness to their advantage. It was also in a very isolated, further away place in the home to where not much would be heard of the attack. They brought a weapon with them, so they knew exactly what they were going to do. They also spent so much time analyzing the Jana family, which just makes my skin crawl and my stomach turn. They knew the pattern. They had followed everything for a month at this point. When people typically left the house, when would a female be alone in the house? They saw that Sasadi was the smallest, that she was the kindest, she was quiet, she was always willing to help, and they took advantage of her.
That's crazy, man.
Murders case, and it is wild and pretty gruesome. Back in 1965, an elderly couple, Fred and Edwina Rogers, lived at their home in Houston, Texas, along with their son, Charles, who was unemployed and an adult still living with his parents. It was reported that the family was pretty private and actually quite reclusive, especially Charles, who was known as being really antisocial. Most neighbors didn't even know he lived there, because he would skulk out before dawn and come back after dark. On June 23rd of that same year, a family member actually called the police asking them to conduct a welfare check on the couple. He'd phoned them but hadn't been able to get hold of them for several days, and he was concerned. Officers then subsequently attended the residence, but no one answered. So when they forced their way in, there was nothing inside the house. The home was completely empty, except some food laid out on the kitchen table. Thinking this was kind of strange, one of the cops opened the fridge, where they found stacks and stacks of what looked like hog meat in there. As he went to shut the fridge, he glanced down into the vegetable bin, where he saw the 2 decapitated heads of Fred and Edwina. Yep, the meat in the fridge was them. The autopsy revealed Edwina had been brutally beaten before she was shot and dismembered, whilst Charles had his eyes gouged out, his genitals removed, and died from blunt force trauma to the head. Both of them had their innards flushed down the toilet, and they were later found in a local sewage plant. Charles became the prime suspect in this case. However, he quite literally disappeared off the face of the earth. He was never found and was actually declared dead in July of 1975. Suspected murder weapons such as a claw hammer, a keyhole saw, and scissors were found, but Charles was never found and the case actually remains unsolved. What do you guys think? Do you think it was Charles? What was his motive for doing it? And do you actually think he's dead?
You never know, man. He just dropped off the face of the earth. I could just do that. The moment you're here, then you're just gone. Like, just completely wipe all traces. I never got that.
52-year-old Texas resident Karen Davis got married, and then after the ceremony and after the honeymoon, she went through the process of changing her last name from Davis to McBride to match her husband's last name. After the change was done, the last step was to get a new driver's license with the new name on it. So Karen emailed the local DMV to set up a time for her to come in and make the change to her license. But after she sent that email, the local DMV immediately emailed Karen back, and they told her that they could not help her with this request until she resolved an issue. They very cryptically said it had something to do with the state of Oklahoma. And then at the bottom of the email, there was just a phone number they told her she needed to call in order to resolve this issue. She punched this number the DMV had given her into her phone, and then she let it ring. A few moments later, a woman from the Norman, Oklahoma District Attorney's Office picked up the phone and said, "How can I help you?" Karen told her, "Hey, I was just trying to get a new license in Texas. They told me there was some sort of issue. I don't know what it is, but this is the number they gave me." The woman from the DA's office discovered Karen's so-called Oklahoma problem. And after she explained to Karen what this enormous problem was, Karen literally couldn't believe it. Suddenly, everything in Karen's life made sense. For the last 22 years, Karen, who was incredibly smart and friendly and polite and never had a problem with anyone, had an incredibly hard time getting a job. Even jobs that she was extremely qualified for, she would get turned down for someone who was way less qualified. And then, in the rare times that Karen did actually get hired, she would always get fired for no reason. And so Karen never understood why she was being treated this way until now. It would turn out 22 years earlier, which is when Karen's hireability issues began, she lived in Norman, Oklahoma. She lived with a roommate, and this roommate was this nice young man who had a couple of young kids, and one weekend he went to the local movie store called Movie Place, and he rented the hit 90s movie Sabrina the Teenage Witch to watch with his kids. And after he was done watching this movie, he didn't return the VHS tape of Sabrina the Teenage Witch back to Movie Place. When Sabrina the Teenage Witch was not returned in a timely fashion, they pressed charges against the card holder. And the card holder was Karen Davis. The roommate had just borrowed her card. And somehow, these charges against Karen were never brought up to Karen. She was never contacted by anyone, and so for 22 years, she was technically a wanted felon for felony embezzlement. And so this was the reason she kept not getting jobs and kept getting fired from jobs. Karen worked with the Norman, Oklahoma DA's office and got these charges dismissed.
Could you imagine, man? You can hold down a job for 22 years off a Blockbuster, off of a Blockbuster rental. These clips, man, be blowing my mind. We here that night, walking out. You gotta be careful.
Deadliest computer viruses in the world, Part 9. The WinXP Horror Edition virus. You're gonna remember this one while you sleep tonight. Malware that disguises itself as a Windows update. No further explanation needed. The best way to understand is to experience it. Right-click open, let's infect this bitch. The PC restarts and we hop right into stage 1, fake system update. Windows appears to be installing an update, but it's all a ploy. Looks like we're getting close, but it stops at 66%. And then, error message. Setup cannot copy the file ntdll.dll. Setup will use the file 666.sys. Okay, I guess. This initiates stage 2, Windows theme hijack. Our entire theme gets swapped to this red background creepy eye looking thing as the update continues. This ominous music begins to play with the message, "Don't look behind you." This time the update actually hits 100% and we're gonna... Oh, okay. First jump scare here with a static noise and a glitchy transition. The theme hijack continues with this skeleton boot loading screen until we get to my favorite part. The classic Windows XP start sound. Let me know if you're old enough to remember that, but with a nice horror sounding twist to it. We finally get to the desktop where the red theme goes on and the entire wallpaper's been replaced with skulls. Our entire PC is wiped except for my computer, this file named nothing, another one called don'topenme.txt, and recycle bin at the very bottom. And we're gonna be opening all of these to see where they take us. But first, it gets worse. Stage 3, screen flashes. We get these scary ass photos that continuously flash in the background. Oh, nice. The start menu icon says dead. Click it and our user profile is 666. And there we have more screen flashes, but let's have a bit of fun now. We'll start by, oh, looks like my cursor turned into an eyeball here, but yeah, let's open up nothing and keep this virus going. Okay, so the music changed and oh, there's stage 4, horror animation. This unsettling flash animation era, creepy pasta cartoon takes over the whole screen and you're just kind of forced to watch it. I'm gonna fast forward it for you guys, but the animation is called The Sad Man by Jake Lava that tells the story of this lonely masked creature that I guess befriends a little girl. It's low-key kind of giving Salad Fingers. A huge throwback if you remember Salad Fingers. That's some OG internet shit right there, and also you old as fuck. Anyway, the girl unmasks the creature to find out he's got a Dunussy on his face and he eats her. Animation ends and we're back to desktop. The nothing file is all glitchy now. Honestly, that's a pretty cool looking effect. The animator did a great job with that. Screen flashes continue, but let's open the next file. Don'topenme.txt. Classic horror movie music plays with the message, "Congratulations, you opened me. Do you want to play a game? Okay, then look behind you." I don't know why I keep saying that. But we've entered stage 5, I guess. Game over. You think you're in the clear and then another jump scare, I believe from a horror video game called Granny, followed by the text on screen, game over. Back to desktop, and this file is glitching now too, but let's open my computer. Surely that should work just fine, right? Nope, we get this message. Do you seriously want to trash your computer forever? Nice. Let's say no, I don't want to do that. Oh, well, that option just disappeared. Yes is our only choice now. I guess there's no escape with this one. Actually, let's just close the prompt and forget we ever opened it. Unfortunately, once you click it, nothing can stop the inevitable stage 6, computer meltdown. My computer just got tossed into the recycle bin and now... yeah, okay, one more jump scare, sorry about that. Followed by what looks like a fake red screen of death message that just kind of repeats over and over again. Yup, this sure ain't looking good. Oh, and now finally, the official blue screen of death and our computer is cooked. If you restart now, the virus's final payload overwrites the master boot record, MBR, meaning this entire PC is now essentially just an image of an eye, along with the message, "I'm watching you," and the virus creator's name. Happy Halloween, motherfuckers. Sleep tight tonight.
I never get how.
Stupid Facts, Part 510. Ariana Grande reportedly has a longtime stalker named Paige Neiman who tries to impersonate the famous singer. She's been obsessed with Grande since she was 12 years old and has allegedly undergone several plastic surgeries to look like her despite being only 20 years old. When the Titanic sank, the richest passenger on board was business mogul John Jacob Astor IV, who had enough money in his bank account to build 30 Titanics. He ended up giving up his spot in the final lifeboat to instead save the lives of a random woman and her daughter.
Hero.
These were the last photos of Garrett Miller, taken just minutes before a soccer goalpost tipped over and struck him in the head, killing him instantly. In 2013, a family dog named Killian was protecting a baby boy from an abusive babysitter by standing between them and growling at her. This made the boy's parents suspicious of the babysitter, so they hid a recording device under the couch and heard her swearing at the baby while possibly shaking and slapping him. The sitter eventually pleaded guilty to assault and battery of a child and was sentenced to 3 years in prison.
Man's best friend right there, bro.
Toys that have been banned because they're just so dangerous. The first one, I don't know how this was ever legal. It was a yard dart. It had this giant metal spear on the end. You would throw them basically at each other across the yard. These cause lots of damage. This is a little sky flyer. You pulled a string and went flying up, but the dangerous thing here is it would poke people's eyes out because they came out with so much force. This is an atomic hit. It had uranium in it. People were getting radiation. Crazy. Follow for more.
Uranium?
Crazy things happening in the world right now.
After a woman took a DNA test for funsies, police used it to charge her grandmother with murder in a cold case. A woman divorced her husband in order to be with Brad Pitt, only to find out that it was an AI scam. A Philadelphia man who was awarded more than $4 million for an overturned murder conviction ended up pleading guilty in a case where he ended a man's life over $1,200. TSA stopped more than 6,000 weapons at airport security in 2024, and 94% of them were loaded. A Texas woman has set the record for donating more than 2,000 liters of her breast milk. The CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, has let the world know that Stevie Wonder demoed the Apple Vision Pro. A man disrupted a TV interview where a woman was speaking on her feelings of being uncomfortable in public places, and he refused to leave. The city of Bend, Oregon recently ordered its citizens to stop putting googly eyes on statues.
Morbid Facts, Part 511. RFK Jr.'s gravelly speaking voice is caused by a rare neurological condition he developed in his early 40s called spasmodic dysphonia, which causes the muscles that open and close the vocal cords to spasm involuntarily. Here's what he used to sound like before this condition versus after.
And if somebody dumps something into the river that's poison, and it goes into a drinking water intake, and children drink that drinking water, that is child abuse. I think those vaccines we need to have, again, true double-blind placebo-controlled trials on that. There's 25% of Americans.
While the true cause is unknown, people who do a lot of public speaking are far more likely to develop this condition. RFK required a titanium bridge in his vocal folds to be able to speak at all, and receives Botox shots in his vocal cords every 4 months. He says it's painful to hear himself speak and feels sorry for those who have to listen to him.
What happened? What caused it? I guess that's the real question we need to be asking. And public speakers, I guess they're aware of that. Something to think about. Expert level, we know.
Bro, what happened to all of the crazy inventions we used to come up with? Pedestrian safety catchers, baby cages for those who live in a city, multiple changing rooms, projectile nets for police to catch criminals, the freaking mono wheel, and now we've got this. What the hell? Bro, they were even rethinking childbirth from the ground up. Because let me introduce you to the centrifugal birth table. It is a legit invention that was even awarded a patent by the US government in 1963. It works by strapping a pregnant woman to a table lying flat on her back, and then when labor starts, it begins to spin, like fast. 8 Gs, kind of fast. That's a fighter pilot territory. The idea was that the centrifugal force would help assist getting the baby out naturally by supplementing the mother's pushing. And then once the big moment arrives, there's a casual safety net at the base of the table to catch the newborn. There was even a little nifty bell built in that would ring once the baby was caught. You know, just in case the doctor wasn't paying attention. Yeah, actually, maybe on second thought we're better off with this.
Unexplained
get
a
camera that will make you question literally everything. This is a video of the president. Now, at first I didn't see what was happening here, but I slowed it down and zoomed in for you. Something's coming out of his sleeve. It looks like a little snake. What is this? Follow for more.
What was that, man? You know, people in power to be having some strange things goes on around him, but there was definitely something, man, that was coming out of his freaking coat jacket.
25 just got even crazier, part 9. Firstly, Mark Zuckerberg recently had a meeting with Meta employees and told them that everything I say leaks. It sucks. Well, and you probably ask, how do I know this? Well, the meeting's audio was leaked. Next, a man in the US was just arrested for the death of his own friend who claimed he could dodge bullets while they were intoxicated. Unfortunately, the man could not dodge bullets, and it costed his life. Finally, astronomers just discovered an asteroid named 2024 YR4. The good news is, it has a 99% chance of passing by Earth safely. However, the bad news is, it has a 1.3% chance of hitting Earth in the year 2032. But guys, let's not really worry about this until the year 2032 then. This is why you should always lock your doors.
Venezuela was woken up in the dead of night to a strange haunting whistle. At first, he thought it was his mind playing tricks, but then he heard it again.
You hear that, right?
Dragging footsteps echoed through the silence, creeping towards his room.
Closer and closer.
But as whoever's outside arrives at the door, this happens. Something tries to get inside. The man believes he was visited by El Silbón, a wandering spirit of death from Venezuelan folklore, known to enter homes with open doors. The further it sounds, the closer he is.
Facts that might ruin your childhood. Most of your favorite animal actors are probably dead. Roald Dahl, the famous author of books like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and James and the Giant Peach, was actually really racist. He was known to be very hateful towards Jewish people. In reality, Pocahontas was 10 and John Smith was 28 years old when they met. And if the movie Finding Nemo was scientifically accurate, then Nemo's dad would have become a female after his mom died and mated with his son.
What? I had no idea a clownfish could even do that. That really just freaking made me question my whole childhood, man. The more you knew. That's the White House gate. He said, yeah, let me not do this.
Look at the ducks.
On sight. Got someone on the roof too? Oh yeah.
Guys, this area's gonna be closed. Start rolling either way. Thank you.
Extreme plastic surgery fails.
It went through with that.
Nobody has been able to explain this creepy viral video. For the past 11 years, a man who runs a TikTok account by the name of Dude, My House is Haunted has been pretty confident that there has been some paranormal activity within his home. He claims that ever since his wife passed away, there have been some strange and unusual things going on. So eventually he decided to leave cameras out and record what was happening and post it onto TikTok, which is the footage that you are about to see. In this video you can see a chair seemingly moving on its own. It moves somewhat slowly until it suddenly is violently pulled into the corner by the kitchen. A mysterious shadowy figure can be seen moving behind the chair, and then suddenly out of nowhere the chair is thrown into the kitchen. Now of course we're not really sure what happened in this video, but I'm having a hard time coming up with an explanation for this one.
Could be added. Somebody could have been pulling it. That's the shadow.
Forbidden places that you can never visit. Number 1, Area 51 is a highly classified US Air Force facility that has been associated with UFOs, strange government cover-ups, and potentially testing alien technology. Although no one knows for sure what exactly goes on here, what we do know is that the facility itself is actually quite small. But the restricted area in total is about 90,000 acres of land. Next, Banga Fort is said to be the most haunted place in India. According to legend, there was a beautiful princess named Ratnavati and she lived in this fort. Many men wanted her hand in marriage, one of whom was a black magician named Singya. The princess, however, rejected Zingia and he laid a curse on the fort which haunts it till this day. There have been numerous stories of people who entered the fort at night and were never seen again. As a result, people have been banned from entering the fort at night. Finally, the Bohemian Grove. The Bohemian Grove is said to be a secret group of very powerful people. It's alleged that many presidents and business leaders are part of this group. Every year they meet up in the woods and perform strange rituals, such as setting fire to a big owl statue. No one else is allowed to go in or take any photos. But a filmmaker named Ron Johnson once snuck a camera inside, and he presumably caught the world's most powerful men doing all of these strange things. For more,
he's a legend, man. That's not the first time we heard a group of powerful people came together to do some weird things. You know, man. You know the other groups out there. One of the most famous. I don't have to say it.
Here are creepy and strange videos that no one is able to explain. The next time you're in your room, you may want to check under your bed or behind your wardrobe. In this video, Andy explains his life story in a video chat, but something very sinister lurks in the background. Okay, pay close attention to what happens in the back. From what it looks like, popping right behind, you can see a figure with some hair. No one is sure what it is, but it might be an evil spirit. In this video, we can see a group of kids that are going to dance next to a field while the cows observe from afar. Although everything seems normal, as the kids walk into frame, a boy with a blue shirt emerges from nowhere. Pay close attention again as they walk in. Where does he come from? No one knows. This video starts out with a girl dancing to a popular song on TikTok. However, something very strange happens behind the scenes. As the girl dances, a strange-looking pale hand emerges. And no one knows where it comes from. Be sure to follow me on Instagram for more.
Beware your surroundings. You never know who's watching.
This man took the night shift because nobody wanted to, but a few nights later, he would find out why. Tim from the TikTok page Tim Saber got a job as a night guard at an undisclosed facility. In one of the corridors was an abandoned unit where most of the paranormal events would occur. One night, Tim left his phone to record the abandoned unit, and what he captured disturbed him. A small attic door begins to shake, as if someone or something is up there. Tim grabs a ladder to investigate. What he found is horrifying. There's something in the attic that Tim is not noticing.
I'm getting backroom vibes.
Suddenly, an unexpected loud noise startles Tim. But when he looks again, he finally sees it.
I see that? It's like a little statue. I'm gone, bro. Me personally, I'm out. Deuce.
I want to talk about the O'Fallon footage. On the eastern side of Missouri, a tape was recovered from a camera recorder of a missing man in 2002. This photo found in the footage has marked the most chilling mystery to have ever come out of this county. The man is pictured here. His name was Roy Hafer, and he was sort of an amateur investigator. You know, he would go to scenes with recent crimes, places where he could film, and he could sell the footage hopefully to a news station. And on an evening where he ventured to a hotspot where a woman had gone missing just a year prior, he would never make it home from that abandoned house. A police search was conducted by the following morning, as well as a search of the abandoned home and a search of this underpass where a significant amount of blood was recovered, but his body was not. They would also go on to find his camera recorder where they would find that final footage. This was the face seen in the last frame of that video footage.
Just disappeared off the face of the earth? What happened?
Animals you probably haven't seen as babies.
What do you mean haven't seen as babies?
Hyenas.
I've seen a baby hyena actually. Tell me that's not adorable. Why is there scary music in the background?
Camels.
Right, I've not seen a baby camel. I'll own that. Oh. Look at the eyelashes, I take it.
Hedgehogs.
That's Sonic.
Hedgehog. Oh, that looks like something else. Oh, he keeps making me take it back. Sloths. Oh my heart, I will adopt one right now. He's mine.
Rocket.
Okay, maybe not a rat. They're a bit reckless. Okay, alright. But, yeah. Right, okay. You might have won me over there a little bit. Oh no. There's not room for two smelly people in my house. And I'm enough. Oh.
I ain't getting that baby skunk, bro. If you guys could pick any animals at Dot Seekers, which one would you get, man? I'm getting a hedgehog, bro. Call him Sonic. We know, man. Expert level. Right here.
The man seen stabbing that security camera was 29-year-old Waldo Mejia. Now, the neighbors who noticed this disturbing footage actually called the police on Waldo at the time and he was arrested. But just a few months later, on January 5th of this year, Waldo attacked a 14-year-old boy who was walking to school. The 14-year-old named Caleb Rios was randomly targeted. There is no prior motive to this attack, and it's still unknown what caused Waldo to snap. But Waldo approached Caleb from behind and began stabbing. And unfortunately, Caleb, the 14-year-old victim, would die from his injuries. Now, this story is disturbing because Waldo had been arrested multiple times in the past, 4 times prior to this murder, including on other stabbing-related charges. Not only had he stabbed his neighbor's Ring video camera, but he had also stabbed somebody in another completely unprovoked attack in New York City. After he was arrested, Waldo was seen screaming expletives at reporters and the authorities, and still there has been no explanation as to why he targeted this random 14-year-old kid on his way to school. If you want to hear more true crime stories, listen to the podcast Murder in America that I co-host with my wife Courtney. It's available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
This video will prove you have thalassophobia.
You passed this video before. Oh, F1. Okay. This one's kind of getting to me, man. You that high up. Just open sea. If you fall, that's game over, man.
Abandoned house of murdered family.
Going in.
This was once a loving family home that has sat empty since the 1990s when tragedy struck. The family were brutally murdered one night, but the killer was never found. There was talk that on the night in question, there had been an escape from the local psychiatric hospital. Although this was never proven, the locals still believe this was the case. The case was officially closed in the early 2000s.
To this day?
The house now sits, beds made, waiting for the family to come home. There are even plates left in the sink. Locals and prospective buyers do not want the house because of dark figures that are supposedly seen at night.
Don't blame them. Me either. That's bad energy. Bad spirits. You good off that?
This was truly a shocking story, with an even sadder ending.
These are the
Sounds
four most
like
haunted
it.
dolls in the world. First is the Annabelle doll, which inspired the Conjuring movies, which, as you guys know, is one of the most haunted dolls in the world. She's able to not only move herself, but also move objects, and is supposedly inhabited by an extremely demonic being, forcing her to constantly be in a spirit box. Then have Ruby, which in my opinion is one of the most terrifying due to the fact that it's a porcelain doll, which all of our mothers and grandmothers have. Ruby doesn't do anything crazy, but the scariest part is supposedly the ancestor who had this doll prior passed while holding this doll, and now supposedly inhabits it. And it's a porcelain doll, which makes it absolutely terrifying. Then have Leva, who's a 200-year-old doll found underneath a house in Australia, said to make noises in the night, moved by itself. And the owner has a specific account of when he was moving, he heard this doll scream while being in the trunk, screaming, "Let me out. I'm good on everything that." Then you have Robert the doll, who in my opinion is probably the most haunted and cursed doll on this list. Said to be so cursed that if you take a picture or look at him without his permission, he can curse you. And this has happened to multiple people who decided to film Robert without his permission. This doll not only moves by itself, the previous owner has made multiple statements of hearing this doll run inside of the attic. On top of that, the neighbors have seen Robert peeking out the window in the second story, while no one was up there. These dolls, they're scary.
March of 2012,
Keep 'em away from me.
a 5-year-old girl named Maria sat on the floor of her kitchen in a city in northeast Brazil, eating an empada. Just then, the front door opened, and in walked Maria's mother. Right behind her was this young woman. This young woman wants to become her new nanny. In the past, there had been other women who had come by to be her nanny, and it didn't seem to last very long. She told Maria that as soon as they were done, the new nanny would come outside and join her. And after a whole hour had passed by, still this new nanny had not come outside. A month later, Maria was out in her backyard. She heard a commotion happening inside of her house. And then all of a sudden, these uniformed police officers came charging out the back door towards Maria. It would turn out, Maria's father, George Silveira, was not actually her father, nor was Maria's mother, Isabel Silveira, her actual mother, nor was her aunt, Bruna Silva, actually her aunt. They were instead members of a cult called the Cartel Sect. The literal purpose of the Cartel Sect was to eliminate women they deemed unclean in order to reduce and purify the world's population. They would shoo Maria out into the backyard, and then they would murder the nanny. They would then butcher them and stuff the human meat into their famous empadas and sell them to the people in town. The biggest shock of the story is actually the real identity of little 5-year-old Maria. She was actually the daughter of the very first victim of the Cartel Sect. And ever since, they had just kept Maria and treated her like she was a member of the family. George, Isabel, and Bruna, Maria's fake family, were convicted of 3 murders. As for Maria, according to recent news articles, she was reunited with distant family.
No words for that case, man. That's just mind-blowing. Truly. We seen this, man. We know what this is.
Bizarre facts that'll blow your mind. A bolt of lightning can reach up to 53,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. Researchers found by flossing your teeth, you're actually helping to improve your memory. Jack Daniel, the inventor of Jack Daniel's whiskey, died from kicking a safe with his foot. This caused his toe to break, which ended up getting infected, which ultimately led to his death. And finally, Dwayne Johnson holds the world record for the most selfies taken in 3 minutes with 105.
How was he doing that? He was just going like boom, 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 boom.
2024
What?
just got even crazier. Part 19. Firstly, meet retired engineer Tom Brown. And after retiring, he wanted to make a difference in the world by saving rare and lost apples from going extinct. And now in 2024, after nearly 25 years of doing this, Tom has saved around 1,200 types of apples from going extinct. You're a legend, Tom. Next, new words were just added to the dictionary, and I'm going to tell you the 3 words that really stuck out to me the most. The first one being bed rotting, which means somebody who spends many hours in a day in their bed with snacks or an electronic device. But it gets more bizarre, because at number 2 is touch grass, which means to participate in real-world activities instead of online ones. Finally, the last word is the ick, which means a sudden feeling of dislike for something or someone. So, how do you guys feel about these new words that were added to the dictionary in 2024?
Touch grass, my
I
guy.
got stalked by a coyote. Keep your eye on the background, and then what happens in 2 seconds.
Here's some coyote advice you never asked for from a man who's never had to deal with them. Anyway, y'all know hazing? No, not the college thing. No. Hazing is putting the fear of God in a wild animal to factory reset its behavior. Here's an example. Basically, you want to give him PTSD so he doesn't come close to anything human. Basically, your goal is to have him racially profiling anything on 2 legs. Jokes aside, coyotes are naturally afraid of us. It's when they lose that fear that the trench puppy becomes a problem. And nothing does that faster than when people feed one, even without realizing it. That goes for any animal. But if you bully them on sight, you help them relearn the price of effing around. It doesn't matter what you say, as long as it's with volume and conviction. Obviously, there are exceptions, like if the coyote's hurt, sick, or with kids, and you want to fall back, or else you might have to cash that check. But you gotta think about how they see us. Coyotes have been getting generationally jumped by wolves. But they also know if they stay close enough, they can get leftovers. Coyotes basically treat us like another wolf, so if one steps up, remind him who you are. Because history has proven what happens when you don't. Tourists in South Africa fed the baboons so much that they started expecting it to the point where they don't fear or respect people. That's how you get carjacked by baboons. Macaques in India have gotten so used to people that the government had used their fear of an even bigger monkey called a langur against them. But since owning a langur is illegal, yep, that man got paid to do that. So unless y'all want to be out here wearing wolf suits, get to hazing.
Who would have thought that the same guy that plays Art the Clown could pull off such an incredible interpretation of the Joker? And I genuinely believe that with the right director and the right script, this guy could actually be the real cinematic Joker. If you haven't seen the 13-minute short Joker's Wild on YouTube, please, I highly recommend it. It's freaking awesome. Because David Howard Thornton, the same exact guy who brought this sadistic clown to the big screen, can also give us one hell of a freaky-ass Joker. Which kind of feels like a more sadistic combination of Cesar Romero and Mark Hamill's version of the Joker, giving us this terrifying cartoonish performance that we haven't really seen in the live-action versions yet. Also, most importantly, the dude can laugh.
He nailed the laugh.
Yeah, that'll do it. Even the way that they designed him in this short, it feels like they ripped him out of the cartoon and put him into this world that just feels so uncanny. But seriously, go watch the full short on YouTube, because I'd really like to see what could be done with this version of the character.
We've already talked about this
Really?
gigantic Moby Dick animatronic that is under the water and has been there since the 60s, but we're going to talk about it again, because I had a nightmare about it, and I'm making that everyone else's problem. So yes, this gigantic Moby Dick animatronic was put there in, I think, 1967, and it has since sunk and is still under there. This is a photo taken in 2005 of it just completely submerged underwater. People on YouTube actually have videos of them diving under there, and it's just like a carcass of itself, and I don't even want it. You can't see it very clearly because it's so murky. But like the first thing that started going bad on this animatronic was its jaw was so heavy that it couldn't sit all the way up, so its jaw is eventually what brought it down. Like its gigantic heavy jaw just made it sink to the bottom of the lake. Like see, here's it when its jaw was completely down and it's just sitting completely up like that. It used to come up and down. I'm going to show you a video later, but this is it without its jaw, and it And yes, this thing is absolutely huge and life-size. Like here's it with a boat of people. Ew. Here's it when it was being transported into the water for the very first time. Look how tiny these people are in comparison to this gigantic, huge whale animatronic. Whales are my worst fear of all time, but a whale animatronic completely submerged underwater. Miss me with that. Like, of all the animatronics that I have ever covered on this channel, this one scares me the absolute most. I cannot imagine falling in that water with that decayed, horrific, huge fake whale. I would cease to exist. Like, it looks so sad too. Look at Pookie. He looks so sad. So watch this video of it moving and let me know how you feel. Also, if TikTok is banned, please follow me on my YouTube account. It's the exact same name that's on here. I'm going to be doing this exact same thing in the form of YouTube Shorts. I really hope that doesn't actually end up happening. But if so, please check me out on my YouTube. I love you all. Watch this.
Like, imagine that. Coming out of the water, you know it's an animatronic.
So about 10 minutes ago, there was an update in the disappearance of Nicola Bulley. Nicola went missing last Friday whilst walking her dog near the River Wyre. And just moments ago, police released a CCTV image of a woman walking her dog who they now believe may have been the last person to see Nicola. It's important to note that the police want to talk to this woman as a potential witness and not a potential suspect. In fact, police have now said that they have no reason to suspect that a third party is involved with Nicola's disappearance. Authorities are continuing an extensive search of the river, as well as searching an old abandoned house near to where Nicola went missing. Hopefully, Nicola will be located soon and her family and friends will have answers.
This photo was discovered by a single mother who recently bought a new phone. She came home, placed her phone on the table, and started watching TV. But soon after that, her son found the phone and asked to play with it. She agreed, thinking nothing unusual was gonna happen. But around 11 p.m. that same night, the mother decided it was time to go to bed. Strangely though, she found her son already in bed, which was very unusual for him. Normally, he'd want to stay up a lot longer. That's when she noticed her new phone was still in her son's hands. So she took it from him and unlocked the phone. At first, only seeing some minor changes. He changed the background on her phone and took a few pictures around the house, nothing too alarming. But since the photos seemed random, she started deleting them, until she saw something that shocked her. This was the last photo on her camera roll, showing her son sleeping, but the photo was taken by someone else above him. Follow for more stories.
A woman who would...
I'm sorry, Seekers, man. Just imagine, bro, like, you freaking scrolling through your phone, man, your pics, you just checking it out, and you see somebody, like, in a freaking bed with your child, bro. You see, like, that freaking creepy eye, too. It's like, what the hell? That didn't even really look like a freaking doll or something, man. I don't know. Like, I can't even imagine that, man. You scrolling through your phone, bro, you just see somebody in your bed, bro. Like, what's going through your mind? That would mean freaking asking like a million questions, like, how did he get in my house? How couldn't I have noticed this, bro? Like, what? Good thing she was scrolling through her pictures, man. You never know what you're gonna find in there. Insane, Seekers.
Who was missing for 30 years was just found alive in Puerto Rico. So Patricia Kopta vanished without a trace from her home in Pennsylvania in 1992. The situation surrounding her disappearance was a little strange and scary because Patricia's mental health had been getting worse and worse over the years. So when she disappeared, the police told her younger sister and husband that they thought she left on her own accord and basically closed the case. They thought that she would maybe come back, but then 30 years went by with no phone calls and no contact. Everyone in her life had assumed she passed away. But recently, an 83-year-old woman in an elderly home in Puerto Rico started opening up to a nurse for the first time. The woman had been diagnosed with dementia and started bringing up things in her life that she had never spoken about before. This alarmed one of the nurses at the facility, who contacted authorities to get a DNA test because she started believing that this woman was a missing woman from the United States. And sure enough, it was Patricia. She had never told anyone about her previous life and had never contacted her family. Her husband and sister were contacted because they're still alive and they were shocked.
This is the disappearance of Dora Marquez. Dora Marquez was an adventurous explorer who was said to light up a jungle. On August 9, 2019, Dora was reported missing by her family after failing to clock in as explorer of the jungle. She was never seen again. Her family reported odd behavior leading up to her disappearance, like asking trees if they can count to 3 and stapling googly eyes on an ugly backpack. She remains missing, and police have created digital composites of what she may look like today. Here is an example. And this one too. So what do you think happened to this bowl cut with legs? Was it cousin Diego who grew jealous of her fame and wanted to replace her with his own project? Go Diego, go. Maybe she was unalived in a robbery gone wrong. Swiper, no swiping. Or aggravated assault. What does her best friend Boots know? And why isn't he talking to police? Could it be because he's a monkey? Backpack, backpack. Backpack, What do you know, damn it? Or was it Algo Mas?
Infamous last words from death row criminals. Erskine Childers was found guilty of the illegal possession of a firearm, and so when he was sentenced to death, the judge chose an execution method that mirrored his crime. He was to be shot to death by a firing squad, and his last words were actually to those men that would be killing him. He said, "Take a step forward, lads. It'll be easier that way." James Edward Smith was handed the death penalty for committing a robbery and murder. But outside of that, he was very known to be into black magic and voodoo, and even claimed to have sacrificed. He actually asked prison staff if his last meal could be this specific kind of dirt. Obviously they said no, they gave him a yogurt instead. His exact last words weren't officially recorded, but the prison guards said that he promised his ghost would haunt that prison for the next 300 years, and there was nothing they could do about it. Johnny Garrett was sentenced to death in the 1980s for supposedly killing a nun. Just a side note, a lot of people think he was actually falsely accused and so he was killed for no reason. But either way, Johnny Garrett's last words before he was executed were, "I'd like to thank my family for loving me and taking care of me, and the rest of the world can kiss my ass."
These freaking people, man, they freaking last lines, I mean, their last words, bro, speaking really bone chilling if you think about it, man. Like, to me, I don't think there's no words that could sum up like your entire life like that, man. They just saying whatever, I guess, hits them. But remember, Seekers, man, could you even imagine that, man? Like, you have to sum up your life within like some words, man. Like your whole entire life, your existence. You have to sum it up with words, man. Just words, it's not enough to me, in my opinion. What do you guys think, Seekers? Am I wrong or am I tripping?
On April 23, 2006, a Texas man named Gary Brown was on his way to the Takugama Chimp Sanctuary in Sierra Leone, Africa for a day of sightseeing. With him were 2 American colleagues and 2 local men named Issa and Melvin. As the 5 drove along, all of a sudden this huge chimp came running out of the jungle, stopping in the road, just stopping the vehicle in its tracks. The driver, Issa, who was one of the locals, knew this chimp was not acting right, so he began to back away from it. But this 6-foot-tall, 270-pound alpha male chimp named Bruno was not having it. Bruno got down on all fours and just tore off after the vehicle. When he gets to the vehicle, he's screaming, he's pounding on it, he grabs one of the side mirrors, rips it off, throws it, runs to the back window, punches it out, and then leaps through the window into the back of the car, where he immediately begins to maul Melvin, who's sitting in between the 2 Americans, Gary and the other guy. This crazy fight breaks out where this chimp grabs Melvin's hand and bites off more than half of it. 3 fingers and most of his hand are gone. Somehow the men get this chimp back out the window, but Melvin's bleeding profusely, so Gary takes off his shirt. He uses it to try and staunch the flow of blood, and meanwhile Issa, he takes off forwards again down the road, trying to get away from this chimp, which is pursuing them. Eventually they come to a locked gate. It's locked with a chain, and Issa attempts to ram through it. It works in so much as the gate opens, but it stalls the vehicle, so the men all bail out. Issa, he just goes tearing off down the road towards the jungle looking for help. The 2 Americans who are not Gary, they get out and they run a little ways away, but they hold back waiting for Gary and Melvin. Meanwhile, this chimp runs up on top of the car, grabs Melvin out, rips him out, and begins mauling him again. By the time Gary gets out of the car, all he can hear is Melvin screaming, "Oh God, please, please help me." And now Gary is ticked. He looks down, he sees the biggest stick that he can find, he grabs it, he runs around the vehicle just in time to see this chimp finishing, basically tearing off and eating one of Melvin's feet. There's just tendons hanging out. So Gary, he just goes charging up to this chimp. The chimp turns around, kind of bows up on him, but Gary uses the stick as a lance and rams it into Bruno, the chimp's throat, as hard as he can. And this drives Bruno on his back, and then Bruno takes off into the jungle. So Gary, he helps Melvin up, and they begin hobbling down the road. The 2 Americans and Melvin and Gary would eventually make it to the main road. Melvin and Gary would be picked up by a military truck and taken to the hospital, where Melvin would make it just fine. But once they got there, shortly after, Gary was in the parking lot when a van pulled up. And when they opened up the back of that van, there in the back were the remains of Issa. He had run into the rest of this troop of chimps, which had escaped earlier that day, and they had mauled him to death, taking off his jaw, disemboweling him, taking both of his hands and feet, and taking off his genitals.
Gosh, Seekers, man. That sounds like some shit out of a horror story, man. But we seen the freaking pictures, like it legit happened, bro. Like, man, could you guys imagine that, bro? Like, if freaking chip is coming at you, man, like, you think you're in a car, you see, boom, cracks open a window, just starts attacking you, man. Like, in the car. Man, like I said, I don't know if the chimp for those freaking 2 other guys, man, if we can throw him out the car, man, the chimps. And then they just ran into the woods. Then, like I said, he freaking ran into, he ran into the true them, I guess the tribe of them, bro. Look what freaking happened, man. Like I said, wildlife, man, like I said, it can be dangerous, bro. Like I said, sometimes the media, they be trained like, you know, wildlife, like they are friendly and stuff like that, man. But at the end of the day, man, it's wildlife is nature, bro. Animals, man. So always got to be careful. I remember when I was a kid, I used to think, chimps were like the freaking, like, nicest, one of the nicest animals ever. Now I'm learning, bro. Chimpanzees, they're dangerous.
Imagine losing your life over a poster. Well, that's exactly what happened to Otto Warmbier when he visited North Korea. Otto was just 21 years old at the time, and he was living in West Virginia. He was about to go to Hong Kong to study overseas for an extended period of time, but before doing that, he wanted to go on one last adventure. He decided to go to North Korea with a travel group and a bunch of other people. And if you didn't know, North Korea is one of the most repressed countries in the world, and it's highly recommended you don't go there. So in December of 2015, Otto arrives in North Korea along with other tourists where they were planning on celebrating New Year's Eve together. The group of tourists were staying at a local hotel together that was known as the Alcatraz of Fun, that was also somewhat separated from the rest of the country. So New Year's Eve comes around and the group is celebrating at the main square. After midnight, everyone ends up returning back to the hotel and everyone kind of goes in their different directions. Some people went to bed, some people went to the bar, and some people even went to the bowling alley. Otto was also sharing a room with this guy in the photo here, Danny Graton. Danny would go on to say later on that there was a 2-hour window period where he didn't know where Otto was, but when he returned to the room around 4:30 in the morning, Otto was sound asleep. So on January 2nd, 2016, the group goes back to the airport as they start getting ready to go back home. However, when they were passing through immigration, one of the security officers taps Otto's shoulder and tells him to follow him. After that, no one else on the trip ended up seeing Otto, and his family wouldn't find out what exactly happened to him for an entire month. You see, Otto had been arrested for doing something that most of us would never think would ever be considered a crime. What Otto was being charged with was basically ripping a poster down from a wall and stealing it. However, the problem is that the CCTV footage that the North Koreans used to charge him with this crime was extremely grainy, and the person in the video was wearing all black, so you couldn't really see if it was Otto or not. The only thing that was working against Otto was that there was footage of him walking through that exact hallway earlier in the day. However, in that other particular footage, he didn't touch the poster. So to this date, we don't know exactly if it was him or not taking that poster. However, the North Koreans didn't believe him and they made him go on national television to confess to his crimes. When Otto went on TV, he ended up saying that he wanted to take the propaganda poster as a trophy back to his Methodist church in the US in order to harm the work ethic and motivation of the Korean people. However, there was a problem with this. Otto was actually Jewish and he didn't attend a church. His family believes that he was forced to confess to a crime he never committed. And in March of 2016, he was sentenced to 15 years of hard labor in North Korea.
Seekers, man. What do you guys think? Was that her as a child, man? So you saw, like, I guess it's how she said she was matching up, like, the marks on her neck. And she was trying to call on the phone for that birth certificate, and they trying to give her the information over the phone, man. I guess now that's something you have to go in person to do. I mean, in person, man, you're trying to get the birth certificate and prove it. So the family, I guess, whatever she's with, man, they don't try to freaking, try to switch up the information, try to deny it. It's freaking crazy, bro. Think about it, man. You get taken as a child and stuff, and you're trying to prove that you're that person, and they're trying to, like, prevent it from happening, man. It's very rare, Seekers, bro. Hopefully there's a part 2 to that, man, so we can check that out. I definitely am going to find that, man. I'm going to have to find that, Seekers. Guys, if you made it with me to the end, man, you're a true seeker, man, seeking the truth. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the support, guys. Like I said, if you, in order for the seekers to grow, man, I need you guys to hit that like button, subscribe. Also, hit that post notification bell so you guys always get notified when I upload a video. As you guys can see, I haven't missed a beat in this month, man. I'm planning on posting this month, and the rest is just going to be 1-hour videos, man, for the rest of this month. So yeah, guys, you can get your popcorn snacks ready, man, because we're going crazy this month, man. That's the plan. Like I said, man, also, if you guys want me to start a Discord so you guys can send me clips and stuff so I can react to and I can put it in the videos, I would do that, man. But like I said, just tell me down below if I should do it or not, man. If I do, then I plan on probably making it towards the end of the month, so going into April. You guys can probably just send me clips and stuff that you guys want me to check out, and that way I have more freaking ways and to get the clips in, because right now I'm finding myself. So if you guys want me to check out something that you guys personally want me to see, I'll start a Discord. You guys can send those clips in there, and hey, you can just keep going and keep expanding together. Like I said, Seekers, you guys gonna catch you in the next one. I appreciate all the support. I'm out. Peace, Seekers.